There are just 8 races left until the playoffs for the NASCAR Xfinity drivers, and it's time for them to make some hay in the land of corn. Christopher Bell has been super hot, especially on the short tracks, winning 5 of the last 8 in this series. Cole Custer has been hot on his tail, including last weekend at New Hampshire Speedway, where he finished second to Bell. Tyler Reddick is the reigning series champ and has 3 wins of his own in 2019. Chase Briscoe is Cole Custer's teammate on a strong team and is an Xfinity winner as well. And Justin Allgaier, the last guy to win here at the Iowa Speedway that wasn't Christopher Bell. All these drivers and more have put on a great show in 2019.
That's the way to do it, buddy.
Christopher Bell is a short track ace.
Yeah, baby.
The 3 guys up front, absolutely no surprise.
Tyler Reddick wins at Talladega.
What a move by Cole Custer in the final corner.
It's a big day for Christopher Bell.
Got that cardboard stick, baby.
Can anyone break up the big 3 and the dominance they have had?
That's an awesome drive, big stuff.
18 thrilling races down, 15 to go, including 8 that lead these drivers to the NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs. Welcome everyone to the Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa for today's US Cellular 250. You talk about the weather changing every 10 minutes where you live. How about the Iowa Speedway a couple of hours ago? We had rain move through here. It looked something like this. Track drying had to be started to get the track prepared for tonight's 250 laps of action, and they did a great job with it. As you can see now, sun is back out at Iowa, and we are ready to go. Hi everyone, Dave Burns along with NASCAR Hall of Fame driver Dale Jarrett. And Dale, we talk a lot about grassroots racing, my home track. This is grassroots at its best for the folks of Iowa.
At its very best. Short track racing, 7/8 of a mile, very fast, but it's a worn out surface. The drivers love that. A lot of patches around, so that sends the drivers looking for grip wherever they may find it. What the drivers have loved in years past about this place is multiple grooves they can race in. They might even find an extra groove up towards the wall tonight, so it's going to be interesting to see who can venture up there and get a little bit more speed.
That will be interesting. Let's take a look at their playoff picture, which has been fairly easily described lately by the big 3 with the multiple wins this season.
Yeah, they've just been incredible at every different type of track. Just when you think one is the hottest, Christopher Bell looks like the man right now. It was Cole Custer a few weeks ago. Tyler Reddick hasn't won in a while, but don't count him out anywhere that they go.
Of course, Christopher Bell with the most wins tied with Cole Custer. Bell is really the one who has stood out. We mentioned that stat earlier, 5 out of the last 8, Dale. And here at the track at Iowa, he's just been outstanding.
Yeah, it just fits his style. We saw him last week at New Hampshire kind of slide his car around better than anyone else, but he had a traction compound there that kind of helped him maneuver around. But at this racetrack, which I believe he's told me that's one of his very favorite that he races on, he likes to slide it around and has done it better over the years than anyone else. He was excited to come here. He's on the pole today. And look for him to be the man to beat. Everybody in this field knows that it's Christopher Bell they have to beat if they want to go to victory lane at the end of 250 laps.
Good look at the numbers for all of the big 3 there. Let's take a look at Christopher Bell's personal highlight reel here at Iowa.
Been a dominant afternoon for Christopher Bell.
It's pretty cool, man. I'm just kind of speechless. You know, these races are really hard to win.
Christopher Bell wins. He did 3 in a row, winning at Iowa. He won stage 1, he won stage 2, and now he will win at Iowa.
What a dominating performance. What does this one mean to you?
Man, it's pretty cool.
And to get another one of those wins, he's in a good spot, starting on the pole, Christopher Bell. All right, so should be easy, right? Just go lead all the laps and go win this thing.
It's always easier on paper, but you never know how these races play out. Restarts are always very difficult. Strategies kind of all over the map if you get a yellow there before the stages. So we're gonna have a lot of obstacles to overcome. Hopefully we go out there and just have a smooth day, but those are pretty hard to come by.
They definitely are. So let's talk about this season as a whole. You're in a titanic battle with Tyler Reddick and Cole Custer, and you seem to have a little upper hand right now. Is it something happened in your cars? Is it the type of tracks? What's really giving you the advantage?
Well, this is just a really good part of the schedule for us. Going from Kentucky to Loudon and Iowa, these are really good racetracks for us. And I think we've got a Ream Supra that can contend for the win today, but the road courses are going to be a little bit tougher for me. I'm not much of a road course racer, but I'm excited to go there and give it my all and just try and learn every lap and be there at the end.
Sure thing. And the last driver not named Christopher Bell to win at Iowa was Justin Allgaier in that 5-win season in 2018.
Heck yeah, boys! Woo!
It's Allgaier with the win.
You guys are awesome. Heck yeah!
Justin Allgaier, who is looking to sweep the afternoon here at the Iowa Speedway. A perfect afternoon for Justin Allgaier.
And for the biggest win of his career, Justin Allgaier leads the field across the yard of bricks.
Daly hasn't had quite the same season in 2019, but you can argue that he should be one of the drivers you consider as the fourth in the conversation.
Well, it would certainly be redemption for him after not getting to the championship 4 last year after having such a great season. Justin Allgaier is experienced. He's come from a winning tradition, and in junior motorsports, they expect to go to victory lane. That hasn't happened for him yet this year, but that's why he could be part of the championship 4 later on. Michael Annett, his teammate, got his win out of the way early at Daytona this year and has had probably a career season for him. Things just gone extremely well. He's competed at a high level at just about every type of racetrack, and I think that he could continue this right on into getting himself one of those playoff spots or one of those in the championship 4. The other is Chase Briscoe. You look at him. He knows how to win. He showed us that at the Roval last year, but he's a rookie, but he's learning every one of these tracks. He's getting better each and every race that he goes to. Stewart-Haas Racing is giving him good race cars. He's got a really good mentor, and that's a young man that called Cole Custer, who's won 5 times, but has helped Chase Briscoe a lot. So we'll see which one of these 3, if it is one of these 3, that might step up and want to be that 4th one.
We started the conversation with Allgaier. Let's talk to him now.
And Dave, he starts 5th today at a place where he's run quite well in the past. So we're just talking about the championship, and there's kind of the big 3, and then obviously we need one more. How soon in a season do you start to let yourself think or worry about the championship?
Well, I mean, I think you have to worry about the championship at Daytona when you start the season. You know, for us, we've had a lot of races that just haven't gone our way. We've obviously not had the speed that we wanted either, but we've run really well at some of these racetracks and not had the finishes to show for it. You know, the last few weeks have been good. We had a 3rd place finish in New Hampshire. We were running 3rd at Kentucky and unfortunately had a bunch of issues, but ultimately I sped on pit road and that kept us from finishing 3rd. So we feel like we've closed the gap tremendously. We still have a long way to go, but Iowa's a great racetrack for us, the Junior Motorsports. We got US Cellular on the car this week, so really good looking race car. Obviously the goal is to go to victory lane, but this is just one more step at trying to bridge that gap to the big 3. We've kind of wedged our way in there a little bit. We got our foot in the door, and we just got to keep doing that. And you know, when we get to the playoff time, I think as the tension and as the pressure really amps up, I think that's where we can excel this year.
Sometimes it only takes one win to turn the season around. Justin Allgaier comes to a great place to do that today here in Iowa.
Good point, Dylan. Well, when we come back to Iowa, we'll talk about playoffs. Playoffs? That's right, they're coming. It's on your device. You can pull it up anytime you want. You won't believe the amount of NASCAR on NBC information you can get on the app. Load it, look at it. Anytime, anywhere. We are at the Iowa Speedway. This is one of 8 tracks to go until the playoffs. And Dale, there could be a wider variety for these teams to tackle as they head into the summer.
It's going to test drivers' skill, every single skill that they have with these different type of racetracks as we look at and taking place what's coming up for these drivers. You know, we've got some road courses thrown in here. Of course, going to Watkins Glen next week. That's high speed. Mid-Ohio, much more technical road course than that. So drivers have to really be on top of their game. Half mile at Bristol, always fun. Road America is kind of a combination between Watkins Glen and Mid-Ohio, if you will, and Darlington. It just speaks for itself, Dave.
And you heard Christopher Bell talk about his concern for the road courses coming up. Not his best skill yet.
Yeah, but I think he's better than what he's given credit or giving himself credit there. But you've got to be on top of your game going through all of this. It's going to be interesting to see how all of this shakes out as far as the points go.
Parker, let's find out how the hometown boy feels about all those tracks.
Exactly. It's very diverse schedule coming up, but it starts here at Iowa. As you said, the hometown boy and Michael Annett, I heard a rumor there's 1,000 people from TMC here. Is that true? And what is it like having that support?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. You know, we do a bunch of hospitality with TMC being, you know, 35, 45 minutes down the road and growing up in Des Moines, Iowa. Yeah, each year they're like, yeah, we're going to have, you know, 1,000 people. 1,000 people. We gave out 1,000 tickets. Like, okay, and it never quite matches it. But this Saturday afternoon, there's 1,000 plus probably of them here, and never seen so many One T-shirts in my life. But it's pretty cool to see everybody show up and the support we have behind this team, and just if there was enough pressure, just keeps adding it on, throwing on more.
And this team is really showing some great performances this season, Dylan.
And another team that has been really strong here as of late is Chase Briscoe, this 98 team. So qualified second, your best start of the year, and you said that your lap could have been better. So is it safe to assume that you've got a pretty fast race car here?
Yeah, I feel like we had a really good race car. Definitely qualifying. I felt like I had the pole till I got loose off 4, but that's part of it. Just try to do a little bit better next time we come back. But yeah, I feel like we have a really good Ford Mustang. Felt like the 20 was definitely yesterday kind of the car to beat on the long run. It felt like we were pretty close. So I don't know. This track changes a lot. It's a lot like a dirt track. So hopefully we can make the right adjustments. I can find the right grooves or the moisture and see what we have. Today.
It's been a really solid weekend for these guys, starting with practice yesterday. Going to try and finish it off with a win today here at Iowa.
Dylan, thanks very much. Chase starts second. The 11 of Justin Haley will start 15th today. And NASCAR started the week with a big hole in its heart. You see the name of Nick Harrison above the door on Justin's car. Well, Nick was the crew chief on this car, and he died suddenly, unexpectedly, last Sunday morning after guiding the team to a top 10 finish at New Hampshire. All over the cars this weekend, you'll see Nick's name. You'll see one of Nick's favorite phrases that he used to use at the track. And it's a laughable one, and that was part of Nick Harrison. He loved to be the life of the party. He brought the people factor to the very stressful job of crew chief. We saw the NASCAR community remembering him this way, and also out in Pocono, the rocks that they usually have painted with the champions and the stars of the past, one was painted for Nick this week. You can see the engine guys there from ECR remembering Nick. Kurt Busch was one of 5 drivers who won with Nick Harrison in the Xfinity Series, and he wanted to remember his friend. And don't forget about the team. Colleague Racing is on the campus of Richard Childress Racing, and midweek they raised a toast to their fallen friend, Nick Harrison. We all feel bad losing Nick. He was a young and vibrant guy. He was engaged to be married to Nancy. Nancy will miss him dearly. And we're also thankful that he was in his life because he brought an aspect of people. In fact, when I went to his memorial page this week, that was one of the bold lines in it. Nick loved people, and we loved Nick. He was just 37 years old. Back at the Iowa Speedway, one of the best short tracks in America, track teams stand ready to win. Let's go trackside for pre-race ceremonies.
Gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the Iowa National Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Matt Sanford offers today's invocation.
Let's pray. Father God, we thank you for this beautiful day and just the freedom you have blessed us with to come and just enjoy the racing. Dear God, may you continue to bless those who protect us for that freedom. And Father, we lift up the Harrison family at this time. Your word says that you give us a peace that passes all understanding. So dear God, bless the family with this peace. Bless their friends, bless the race teams. We ask this in your name. And dear God, we pray for protection over every racer and team member, and we ask all this in your name, and everyone says, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Abby Callahan as she performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave
Very nicely done, and thanks to the Air Force flying over, they don't get there without being refueled, that's for sure. We're going to take out a little fuel. We'll be back for the command to start engines from here in Iowa.
Cole Custer is a winner.
That's the way to do it, buddy. That's the way to do it. I'm proud of you there.
Been a dominant afternoon for Christopher Bell.
Truly a dominant win for Tyler Reddick.
How about that? Get him back! Yes!
How about that? All 12 of the last winners under 26 years of age. You expect to see these names in NASCAR's National Series for years to come. Right now, we're lucky to have them here in the Xfinity Series. Let's go trackside for more stories. Here's Parker.
Right, Dave. The reigning champion in the Xfinity Series, Tyler Reddick, you would think would have a lot of fanfare and a lot of people thinking that he's going to be dominant again. But there's those haters out there who said that maybe he's fallen off his two competitors of Cole Custer and Christopher Bell. But this team tells me they have not. They said they're as strong as ever. There's just a couple tracks here that maybe aren't their best tracks. Starting next to him will also be Zane Smith, who finished 5th here in the spring. He says that was a great run. He learned a ton up at the front. He's hoping to capitalize that on well. And then starting behind him is his Junior Motorsports teammate, Noah Gregson. This team has 2 top 10s coming to this race, has a lot of momentum, and feel like they're primed and ready to have a great run here, Dylan.
And Parker, on the other end of the spectrum, you talk about the big teams. Well, here's a small team, H2 Motorsports. This is Shane Lee. He made an interesting comment to me, just saying that part of the challenges of being in a new team is you don't have notebooks setup-wise to go from weekend to weekend. This is the first track they've had where they have a notebook. They ran here in June. They've got some notes they can rely on. They feel like it's already helped them so far this weekend. Austin Cindric, this is a racetrack he's got more experience on in the Xfinity Series than any other. He feels like that's going to help him here. He needs it to help him here. They're kind of in a little bit of a slump. They've had finishes outside of the top 10 the last 2. So a lot of good storylines throughout the field here. These are just a couple of them that we'll keep our eye on moving from inside the top 10.
Thanks, guys. Good look at those guys. And DJ, this track will challenge and maybe foreshadow some of the things to come later in the year.
Yeah, things that you need for a championship. The driver's got to do his job, and the team pit crew's got to do their jobs all night.
We'll see how it works out for him. First thing we've got to do is get the engines fired.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome U.S. Cellular customers Eric Gintert, Mark Jones, and Kent Carson as they deliver the most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines.
Thanks, guys. That was good. A little Rolling Stones in the background. We are ready to get things started up here today. Iowa Speedway, ready to get going. We'll be back to give you the starting lineup when we come back.
Just an incredible performance by Christopher Bell.
Ross Chastain will win at Daytona. 5 wins on the season for Cole Custer. He wins here in Kentucky.
Christopher Bell will win at New Hampshire. Let's see a burnout for Christopher Bell.
It's been quite the season so far, hasn't it? Xfinity Series racing never fails to deliver, and it won't tonight at the Iowa Speedway. As the cars pull off, we are going to take a couple of pace laps here and then get ready for 250 laps of racing. 3-segment race, 60, 60, and 130. Let's take a look at the starting lineup presented by U.S. Cellular. We talked to him. He's on the pole. Christopher Bell fast at Iowa once again. Chase Briscoe to his outside.
You've got Brandon Jones with a good qualifying effort, and young man Riley Herbst getting some good experience. Got a fast race car.
Third row, Justin Allgaier and Cole Custer. We've talked about them. They're going to be competitive tonight. And then Shane Lee and Austin Cindric. We've already spoken about them as well. A couple of young guys with a chance to do well here at Iowa. Dale, as we roll through the starting grid here, I want to get back to the point you were making about this racetrack maybe being a teller about who's going to be good later in this season. Why does this track apply to both the teams and drivers?
Well, it's a difficult racetrack. It's worn out. The driver has to do his job, so he's got to showcase his skills as to everything he can do as a driver, taking care of the car, taking care of the tires, knowing when to make certain moves and when to move around on this racetrack to find the most grip. And then you have the team aspect of it. Because it is a difficult racetrack, the team has to do their job. The car's fully prepared, but they have to do the job on pit road because it is difficult to pass on this racetrack. The pit crew has to do their job, not to put their driver in a difficult position to where maybe he has to do a little bit more than he wants to. So who's championship ready between the driver and the team? And I believe if you run well here today, then you can be considered a championship contender.
You might see Dale Jarrett share that same thought from the Peacock Pit Box in Miami this fall. There's the 38 drivers who will be starting tonight's race. Onboard camera tonight will be worn by Justin Allgaier. You see right on his visor there, DJ. What kind of a perspective will that give us?
A bouncing around one, what's going to show us a lot of. This is a rough racetrack, and we've seen some of it already in practice. And Justin carrying this for us, but it's going to be a wild ride.
There's Justin getting set to go. Get the green here after a couple of pace laps. DJ, here's the Iowa Speedway. They've been racing here since 2006, and it's good looking at 7 to 8 of a mile.
Yeah, just under a mile there, so you can see our stages 60-60, and then we'll have 130 at the end of the race. The fuel wind, I think that 105, that's getting the very top of it. Probably start somewhere around 95 in getting to that, depending on how much green flag racing they do in there. It's variable banking. I believe we might see the widest racetrack that we've seen at Iowa because practice started out up towards the top, and I believe it's going to gravitate even more as drivers look for grip.
How about that? It's good and wide already, Parker. We'll see how many of those lanes they use. What are you thinking about right now?
No doubt, and you know, one of the discussions has been amongst everyone in the field is how they are running so high up the racetrack and how the bottom lane hasn't been working, but we had a couple rain showers just a couple hours ago. They had to put the air tightens in the track. It might have removed some of that rubber. It's made this so slick. So look for that bottom to be interesting early on the race, but everyone agrees this track is eventually going to migrate up to the top, and that's going to be where you want to run, Dylan, to be fast.
Well, and Parker's tires are something we talk about everywhere. It doesn't matter where we go. I thought the crew chief for the 7 car, Jason Burdett, he made an interesting point to me this morning. He said the tires aren't really falling off as much as they have in the past. That in turn is kind of allowing the speeds to be higher, which is turning a focus more towards brakes and brake issues. He said that was something that they dealt with last week at Loudon, which was somewhat new to them. So they're going to keep an eye on brakes as well as these tires, because the less they fall off, the faster you go and the more you have to use your brakes. So a lot to focus on here in addition to just that tire fall off.
That's very interesting, Dylan.
Yeah.
One thing changes on the race car, Dale,
yeah.
It affects something else, doesn't it?
It always does. Looking here, we've talked about everybody here. Cole Custer finished second to Christopher Bell here. Gave him a run for his money in the first race just about 6 weeks ago. So did he come back with something a little bit better, and can he be the man to stop Christopher Bell here this afternoon?
He has been confident of late and has learned so much in this year, having his 5 wins as well. And the team is together too. We talk about the strength of Stewart Haas Racing and what they bring to this Xfinity Series program. They've got it going on. Crew Chief Mike Shiplett directing that program here. All right, the field is coming around. We've been told that the lights on the pace car should click off right there as they cross the ear of corn. There they go. One lap, DJ. What are the drivers thinking at this point?
Yeah, what's the racetrack going to be like because of that rain? They're going to have something different than what they've experienced through practice yesterday and qualifying today. We see Christopher Bell taking that top side. He still believes that's going to be the place to go, but it's going to be interesting. You have to attack this racetrack, but you obviously want to give yourself a chance at the end. Don't be trying to do too much too soon.
And as we point out so often, not everyone can run in the high line and pass, DJ. You've got to find another place to go.
You've got to find somewhere else to go, and that's always been the bottom. That's why the drivers love this racetrack, but it's so rough down there now, and there's so little grip that it's making it more difficult. That's why I believe that the possibility is there to gravitate even closer to the wall in the turns.
Christopher Bell in the 20 car was the fastest qualifier, but not by much. Just missing the pole was Chase Briscoe in the 98 to his inside. What will lap 1 be like? 8 races until the playoffs. This is race number 19 in the 2019 season. Should be another good one here at the Iowa Speedway. Pace car pulls off. The field is in the hands of the starter. Christopher Bell looks that way. He sees the green. He's up to speed, and we're off at Iowa. Bell challenged hard by Briscoe, through one on that low line. Looks like the top's going to prevail, Dale.
Yeah, just able to carry a little bit more momentum there, and that was a good indication of what we're going to see here. Drivers are going to try this. We see Justin Allgaier trying to make up a little time.
Riley Hurts trying not to get in the back of his teammate, Brandon Jones, in that yellow 19. Backs out just a little bit. And now Custer looking to the inside in that white 00. And they're only 4 wide behind him, Dale.
Didn't take long to get 3 and 4 wide as they come off of turn 2. That doesn't work for very long here.
This is what we love about Iowa. You have options. Yes, the bottom groove, you see Allgaier going there. It may be, quote-unquote, gone. They're going to try it.
Yeah, Tyler Reddick, he started outside the top 10. We all knew it wasn't going to take him long to make his way into the top 10. Look, he's going to try the middle groove, which we don't talk about much.
He's in that light green number 2. This is on board helmet cam with Justin Allgaier. And he's about to see that 2. Try the inside. It's not going to work here. Parker.
Guys, as we watched Tyler Reddick try really hard to move forward, I was speaking to his crew chief, Randall Burnett, just before we started the engines there, and he said, hey, tell everyone, we don't qualify well, but we're going to the front. We have a race car that deserves to be at the front, and I think he's showing that right now, being able to move up a couple positions early.
Parker, you can go tell Randall that's exactly what we expected. We expected this young man to be the show, as he always is, up on the high side of the racetrack. Hearing that the 22 of Austin Cindric may have brushed the wall a bit. Here he is off of turn 2.
May have got forced up there a little bit. You can see Justin Allgaier got up out of the groove just a bit, and Austin Cindric, trying not to get into him, got into the wall. Parker?
And I think Austin Cindric is not very happy with the driver of the 7 car, Justin Allgaier. He just came across the radio and sort of motioned that if he's able to get back to him, that 7 might have a problem here. We'll see how what happens when he gets back up there.
Yeah, that's kind of racing at this racetrack. You know, you expect that, so you've got to keep your temper in check here. Yeah, you're not happy about it. You got into the wall. Hopefully it didn't do any damage. Bodies on these cars withstand a lot, so hopefully everything will be fine for Austin Cindric.
That'll be the job of crew chief Brian Wilson and spotter Jefferson Hodges, working with a young man that is very talented, has learned to rein in some of his emotions, and has gotten a lot more consistent on the racetrack. You can't let something really like that get to him.
No, you just got to put it aside that it's, hey, short track racing. It wasn't something that Justin Allgaier tried to do to put him there. It's just, you know, when you're trying to catch your car from that bottom, and that's what you get into in trying to run the bottom or the middle, is that you can do it for a little bit, but you hit those bumps, and then all of a sudden you change about a half lane, not meaning to.
Allgaier trying to hold off Mr. Excitement, Tyler Reddick. That's for 6th position.
So this is the challenge as a driver on a short track, where you feel like you have a faster car than the competitor in front of you, but you know how difficult it is. He's got a little bit of a gap to the car that's behind him, who I believe is still Austin Cindric, so he can take a few more chances, but showing the patience to not do anything crazy right at this moment is what you fight each and every time. You can see Reddick dive to the bottom, trying to put maybe a little slide job here. Not able to pull that off yet.
He could have forced the issue, but we're only 9 laps in.
Yeah, late in the race, that might be a different story right there.
So Allgaier hangs on to 6th. Your top 5, Bell, Briscoe, Jones, Herbst, and Custer. Joe Gibbs Racing looking strong up there, as is Stuart Haas Racing. Mentioned to you at the top of the program the loss of crew chief Nick Harrison on the 11 car of Justin Haley. Haley currently runs in the 12th position, getting a challenge from the black 39 of Ryan Sieg. And in just one more way we can say thank you and appreciate Nick Harrison. We're going to go silent and watch Justin Haley command the 11 on lap 11 at Iowa Speedway. To the Harrison family, to everyone at Colleague Racing, we offer our sincerest condolences, because we too miss Nick Harrison. Dylan?
Well,
and I talked to Chris Rice, who, of course, is the team principal at College Racing, but now has had to step into the role as interim crew chief here. And he made the comment, and DJ can allude to this, I'm sure, but these race teams, because of how much they travel up and down the road together, how much time they all spend together, they are very close. They become like your second family. And sometimes that's easier said than done because of how much you do work together, but Chris made the comment that Nick Harrison really made everybody feel like family, from the guys who swept the floor in the shop to his car chief. They were all family to him, and that's something that they're going to miss more than anything else, is just the fact that he really genuinely cared about everybody, and it showed every time they were at the racetrack.
Yeah, he was somebody that meant a lot to this race team, and he's going to be missed, but he will live on within that race team for a long, long time.
Nick Harrison's car, the 11 of Justin Haley, races on at Iowa Speedway. Your leader, Christopher Bell. You know, something I always like to see, unlock premium content with a free trial. You might find that you just love the official NASCAR app so much, you want to pay a monthly subscription. Check it out and see, NASCAR.com/mobile. Slashing through the Iowa Speedway is Christopher Bell. He's got a 1.3-second lead over second place Chase Briscoe as he begins to work lap traffic.
And this is where it gets a little bit tricky, especially the first time that you're lapping some drivers, is not knowing exactly, okay, everybody's trying to run that higher side because that's where it's better, but are they going to move out of the way? So as the leader, you have to learn to navigate through that.
Fourth place here, Riley Herbst in the black 18, Cole Custer in the white 00. And as Ryan Repko goes to the bottom in that red 01, DJ, I'm wondering, is that a better hiding place for cars that know they're slower than the leaders to get out of the way now that it's not the preferred groove?
Yeah, I mean,
if they stay there.
Yeah, it is, if they do it properly and give you plenty of room. You don't want it to go all the way down into the corner and you're catching them at such a high rate of speed that you're not sure exactly which way they're going. So if they can commit to whichever side, you really, as a driver, you don't care which one it is. We're going to see if Tyler Reddick can pull this off down the bottom, but you don't care which way it is. Just give me plenty of time to see that.
Now Ryan Repko did a good job with that, and that allowed this battle for sixth to continue.
Well, we knew that Tyler Reddick wasn't going to be patient enough. Yeah, I was trying to decide if that was the right word with him, because you don't use that much with Tyler Reddick. But he's so fun to watch. He just wasn't going to ride there. Again, knowing and believing he has a faster race car right now than Justin Allgaier.
The NASCAR reigning Xfinity Series champion, Tyler Reddick, in that green number 2. Surprised a lot of people at the Homestead Miami Speedway last fall. Took it to him in the championship race. Trying to get there again. He's one of the quote-unquote big three. And as he told one of our guys in the pre-race, he's trying to find a little bit more, but they feel like they're okay. No big worries right now.
Well, they're still the leader in the points.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, everybody keeps talking about that. Well, he's doing an outstanding job. He's running in the top 5, accumulating more points than anyone else. And that pays 15 playoff points if you're the regular season champ when we get through at Las Vegas.
Yeah, the next guy back only gets 10. So that's a nice jump. So we'll watch that battle on the right. Again, Allgaier holds the 6th position. Keep an eye on the left at the 4th place battle between Custer and Herbst.
This is where it gets really interesting now. Is you get some cars that are being overtaken that are a lap down. They want to continue to run in that high side. And basically, NASCAR just asks you to run the line you're going to run. Tyler Reddick's going to take advantage of this situation and take that spot away from Justin Allgaier.
Stephen Parsons in the 99 holds his high line, as does Camden Murphy in the 93. And so Reddick is going to pass. He's going to take the bottom, and this time he'll get the slide job, kind of using them both as a pick. And Justin says, I'll live to fight another lap.
Yeah. When we talk about this, what the drivers loved about this racetrack was there were multiple grooves, but the bottom has gotten so rough and it's lost so much grip that you just can't make any time down there anymore. And so that's made it so much more difficult to make these passes.
You saw this battle was getting a little bit intense between these two as they work traffic. Just a little bit of contact here. Justin's like, you know, I'd like to go middle there if you'll let me.
He knew where he wanted to go, but Tyler Reddick said, no, that's not happening right now. Now you can see they're back to gosh, just within a half car length of being up against the wall.
Whoa, the 68 of Will Rogers there, the red and white car, the 5 of Matt Mills. Now they're trying to find a way through. And the 78 of Vinnie Miller is right there. Watch out, guys. And that is lapping traffic at Iowa, and it's happening more here. Austin Cindric now looking for a way by in the 22. Meanwhile, he's trying to hold off Noah Gragson for 8th, along with Michael Annett. Parker, it's pretty exciting from up here.
No doubt, guys. You know, I talked to so many drivers about this traffic situation in terms of the fact that, as you guys said, we're running that top lane, then you've got to try and find places to go. Tyler Reddick was telling me, he said, you know, there's no clear-cut strategy. There's nothing I can tell my spotter. I just got to figure it out. I got to muscle my way through. And one of the things you noted there, DJ, was how high up on the racetrack he and Justin Allgaier went to get by some traffic. I thought that was very interesting because a lot of drivers were wondering if this groove can get up next to the wall, and I think we're starting to see that drivers are willing to do that, Dylan. I think that's the place they're going to have to go if they want to find that little extra grip and make these passes through traffic.
Yeah, Parker, I mean, and that's something, like you said, that we knew was going to happen sooner rather than later. You're going to have to be able to move around on this racetrack. For Justin Allgaier, he's been very candid in his comments this weekend, just saying that they know that they haven't necessarily been the fastest car on the racetrack this weekend, or this year for that matter. They've just tried to minimize their mistakes, and that's kept them in the hunt here. They don't have the win that they want and probably deserve based on some of the speed that they've shown throughout the year, but it's about executing better, minimizing the mistakes, things that have happened to them this year that didn't happen to them last year when they'd won 5 wins, won 5 races at this point in the year. So a lot of different strategies and approaches to trying to just get through your race here and maximize the effort and everything you're trying to accomplish.
Dylan, thanks. Battle for the 5th has gotten good. That's the 7 of Allgaier chasing down the 18 of Herbst. And Noah Gragson now trying to hold off Michael Annett. Gragson has 2 things going on, DJ. He sees the 22 of Cindric. He wants that position, but he's got a mirror full of Annett.
Yeah, and that's why you can't try to make too many different moves in this situation. I can tell you from a driver's standpoint, there's nothing more fun than racing right up against the wall. Used to do it at Bristol a lot, and that's when that place was no more fun.
7/8 mile Iowa Speedway. We love it. Hope you're enjoying it. Christopher Bell continues to lead the field. Allgaier on the top. He's behind the red 15. That's Ryan Vargas. Excuse me, Ryan, making your first start in the Xfinity Series. We need you to stay in your line. I'll just go higher. Herb stays low. And Justin made it work.
He made it work that time. There's a little bit of risk in there when you run up on a slower car. So you can see he has some momentum, letting him know, hey, I'm here. But you don't want to be bumping him too hard. I mean, obviously, this is a slower car and a driver that's struggling with the handling of his car, but Justin takes his chance and goes up top.
Good job by the veteran. We mentioned Vargas making his first start in the series. He and Will Rogers, NASCAR Next alums, making their debut in the series. Communicated with both of them this weekend, and they're loving it. Whoa! Allgaier in the wall there. How high is too high, right?
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that he's kind of taking it to the next level with everybody.
And now we hear Austin Cindric has trouble. Yes, hard in the wall. There's something on the track, maybe.
Or did he possibly have cut a tire?
Or help. The rear end of that car is pushed in pretty hard. See what we can find. And we're under caution for the first time with 16 to go in stage 1. Oh,
remember, he had contact with the wall earlier, so
that's right.
That result in a tire going down.
Here's Allgaier's miscue down into 1. And up in the wall in 2.
Not much hurt there.
Here's Justin's view from the helmet cam. And a late look at what happened to the 22. Dale, Hall of Fame experience right here. I think you're right on that right front tire.
He's already had a right front tire go down off of turn 4 there, I believe, and
nowhere for the 9 of
Gragson had really nowhere to go right at that point in time, except into the back of him.
Parker?
And DJ, I believe you are right. The right front went down. Remember, he had that contact with the wall when he got into the wall with the 7 a little bit earlier in the race. Felt like maybe they had a tire rub there and it cut down that right front.
Under caution, we'll be back for the completion of stage 1 at Iowa when we return. NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by US Cellular. We love speed too. So we're building your next generation 5G network. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. But they've dropped a little coin today on some Christopher Bell merchandise. Bell, once again, the star of Iowa Speedway. Pits are closed for the moment. They were still working on getting Austin Cindric's car off of the racetrack. Under caution for the first time. 12 to go in the stage, and we're told that next time by, pits will be open. Dale Jarrett, you want to pit now?
You know, they've only got 3 sets of tires in the pits. You know, that last stage is 130 laps, so I'm staying out if I'm up front here.
Gobble up some stage points. You see Bell has some lapped cars between himself and second place Chase Briscoe. Lead lap cars will pit this time around, so give him another big advantage on pit road, right?
Yes.
So as we're winding down 3 stages today, 12 to go in stage number 1 of 60 laps. Identical stage length for stage 2. The third one will be over twice as long at 130 laps. Christopher Bell looking, thinking, and with wins already in, Dale, he's going to set up for the next stage.
That's why I drove and not crew chief.
All right, let's head down to pit road. Dylan.
And Chase Briscoe in the very first pit stall off the racetrack. He's been complaining, not complaining so much, rather than just saying he's a tick loose, but not too bad at all. They're going to change 4 tires and fuel for him. Brandon Jones there in the middle of your screen. He was complaining from lap 7 on that he needed more drive on corner exit. 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel for him as well, Parker.
And at the bottom of your screen, you see Christopher Bell, who was in the lead. Unsurprisingly, didn't have much to say on the radio. Very happy with that car. 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel for the 20. And then also Cole Custer here in the pits, 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel. And he was actually being coached about exactly the line that other cars were running around that whole caution. Pretty interesting. We'll see the race off pit road.
Trying to maximize his effort today. Bell holds his position. He'll restart. Well, we'll see where he restarts when they reset the field here at the Iowa Speedway. Xfinity races in Iowa. You know where the Cup cars are. They are in Pocono. They race tomorrow on NBCSN at 3. Kevin Harvick, last week's winner, Dale, he is on the pole looking strong.
Got that little bit of momentum, a little more confidence in the driver and team.
Little pep in his step, as do the drivers on the front row. Look at that. Jeremy Clements in the black and red 51 and Zane Smith in the green and white number 8. Lead lap cars that stayed out. Smith will lead the field back to green. Clements with a good jump. Smith went, so I think this is going to be okay. NASCAR will take a look at it. But Jeremy Clements trying to get some stage points before this one ends. We'll see what happens. He gets really high. And Christopher Bell with 4 fresh tires. He flies by back to the lead. Let's see how long Clements can hold on. He's in the extreme high line. Right with him is the guy that doesn't have fresh tires either, Zane Smith. The restart is under review according to NASCAR. See what they say. Again, Smith in the 8, he has to fire off first in the restart zone.
Yep.
And they've called it good. It did appear that the 8 went and the 51 then went better. Mike Lynette, careful. Clements trying to hold him off. 3 wide coming to the line.
Everybody trying to get whatever points they can gather up here before the end of this stage.
Well, and so for Clements and Smith, if Moore would have played that game, Dale, that could have worked out.
Yeah, and that's what they needed. I mean, you're kind of a sitting duck whenever it's only 2 of you, and then holding off Christopher Bell, of all people, and trying to stay up there.
Jeremy Clements is back to 9th. Zane Smith is back to 13th. So Smith is out of the points picture there, and now Clements is as well. So things looking like they did before we went to caution. That was for the crash car of Austin Cindric. Christopher Bell back to the point. Briscoe, Custer, and Jones behind him.
Yeah, and this looks like our battle of the day here. There's always 2 cars that are there together, and these are teammates that are right here together battling for that second spot right now.
Careful, boys. 4 to go in stage 1. We spoke in the pre-race show of how Chase Briscoe, teammates of Cole Custer, has the equipment. Not as much experience, but he's certainly got the chops to get it done.
You say, why would that spot mean so much to Cole Custer? He's got those 5 wins and a lot of playoff points. You can see it, Chase Briscoe trying to come back underneath and take that spot back away. A little loose right there. How about that 98, Dylan?
Well, DJ, that was something, this strong run that they're having in the beginning of this race was a goal of theirs really from the start of this weekend. Richard Boswell made the point that they had a plan that they wanted to try and accomplish a couple things coming into this weekend here, and it's so far worked out. They've been running strong. They've had strong finishes, but maybe haven't shown that at the beginning of races. So that was their goal. Run strong in stage 1. That'll prove that they really do have the speed and they are capable of winning. So far, they're doing that.
So I was talking about Cole Custer. Why would that 1 point mean a difference? Well, there's still that regular season battle for the points leader at the end of the regular season. 15 playoff points that go to him. So Bell and Cole Custer are trying to chase down Tyler Reddick in that respect.
Good battle here. Brandon Jones, 4th, trying to hold off Justin Allgaier. Allgaier's car looks none the worse for the wear, DJ, after a little wall tap. Maybe it'll hug the low line better.
Yeah, trying to make this work. Brandon Jones pretty good up on that top side. He's been really solid at the start of this race in this first stage as it comes to an end.
And there it is, Christopher Bell with his 12th stage win of the season, most ever in an Xfinity Series season. He'll take that playoff point. He'll put it in the bank. We'll break here. We'll be back with more from Iowa Speedway. Christopher Bell takes stage 1. You're watching coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series US Cellular 250 from the Iowa Speedway. Let's head down to the Infield Care Center. Dylan?
And Dave, Austin Cindric has been released. So what happened, Austin? What did you feel in the race car?
Yeah, I'd love to see a replay, but from what I understand from where I was sitting, I wasn't clear and I got cleared, and I guess that's a tough spot for the spotters because that's happened both times we've been here at Iowa. So I feel bad for Noah and the 9 team, however that affects their day. I feel bad for our team. We definitely thought we had something to contend with. Obviously got off to a bit of a rough start there, tried to recover after getting put in the wall early, but I guess shoes on the other foot, and now we're here out of the race. So pretty bummed. Not the kind of day we wanted, but move on. That's why we have racing.
Austin Cindric done for the day early here at Iowa.
See if we can talk to Christopher Bell. Christopher, Dale Jarrett in the NBC booth. You have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Christopher, the racetrack, how did it change from what you had seen over the previous day with the rain that you had between qualifying and the start of the race?
Well, I don't know if the rain had anything to do with it, but one thing that I've noticed is it seems to be getting a little bit wider here, wider than it has been in the past couple of races anyway. So that's great news for us for later on in the race.
Okay, good job in that first stage. Thanks for talking.
You see the Purple Heart on the hood of Christopher's car, the Stage 1 winner. The SK is for Sue Carley. She was a motorsports manager for Ream Racing for years and years. In fact, I bumped into her on the airplane in 2014, thought she was one of the most pleasant people I'd ever talked to in the sport. She died after a short battle with pancreatic cancer. You can see Christopher, his crew, and lots of other folks in the NASCAR community mourning her loss this weekend. He'd like to put it in victory lane for Sue. He may be able to do that based on the strength of Stage 1. He won it. Back at Iowa Speedway, Stage 1 completed. Christopher Bell was the winner, takes home an extra playoff point, which he will gladly have come playoff time. And the 9 of Noah Gragson was back down pit road. He's currently listed in 26th position, Dylan.
Well, and he was on the other end of the Austin Cindric incident. He was the one that rear-ended the 22 car. So you can see there down below where it says Camaro on the silver of the nose there of this race car. That's where the brunt of the damage is. Kind of pushed back into the radiator area and then all along the right front too. So the crew has made a couple pit stops here during this yellow just to try and tighten everything up as much as they can. As you see, they have the saws out there trying to clear away some of that body work just from the radiator area. So they are already battling some overheating issues because of that, so could be a long day here for Noah, but hopefully they got him fixed up here and ready to go back racing here as we come to the green.
Dylan, thanks for the update. The JRM crew have, under the damaged vehicle protocol, up to 6 minutes, Dale. They can't put pieces on there, but they can use a lot of tape on there to try to put it back together.
Yeah, try to get as much as they could there to make sure they can keep everything cool. That's going to be their main issue throughout this race.
It's still warm in Iowa. Had a rain shower move through earlier in the day, but now, as you can see, bright sunny skies in a good stage one, especially if you're Christopher Bell. He won by a good margin after pitting before the end of it, and then getting around the guys who had stayed out. He'll have command of the field again, choosing that outside lane. Stage 2 commencing. Cole Custer, the white car, to his inside. Nice push from his teammate Brandon Jones on the outside. So busy on the restarts, Dale, trying to control your car, watching out for cars inside and outside of you.
Yeah, you can see that being on the inside is not an advantage whatsoever. Matter of fact, he's at a disadvantage there. Had teammates. Chase Briscoe was trying to push Cole Custer and then pulled out and made it 3 wide down in turn 1. But Brandon Jones taking both those spots away.
Car back in 6th position. Welcome to the top 10. White, black, and yellow car of John Hunter Nemechek. Allgaier in front of Herbst. That is 8th place. Ryan Sieg trying that low groove in the black 39.
And you can see Justin Allgaier's falling back there. He restarted 5th, but down on the inside and just couldn't get things going. That outside lane kind of freight trained him there, and he lost a number of spots.
You will hear the tale of the race from drivers that had to start over and over again, Dale, on the inside lane, won't you?
Yeah, but obviously not knowing exactly when cautions are going to come out, it's kind of hard to get yourself situated and who might pit and who might not. So you can't take that chance. It's just one of those things that happen. You hope at the end of the race that you're in the right lane.
Good racing from 13th on back. The green and white number 8, that's Zane Smith. Right behind him, Jeremy Clements. Then comes the 08 of Gray Galding and the 86 of Brandon Brown. For a minute there, we had them testing the waters of the multi-lanes of the Iowa Speedway. Slower car to the bottom there, that was Morgan Shepherd. We'll see 9th, 10th, and 11th running together here. Herbst on the inside, a little nerf from the 39 of Sieg.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Oh, and now Herbst is going to be around. That car hard to control, and Riley lost control of it. Caution is out. Clements can't avoid. Boy, that happened so fast, Dale.
Yeah, and I was just getting ready to say, Ryan Sieg was down on the quarter panel there of Riley Herbst, and you have to be careful in that situation because you'll turn that car around without ever touching it, and that's exactly what happened, but Ryan Sieg was able to get away. Unfortunately, Riley Herbst and Jeremy Clements got the worse for wear here.
There's a wall of air you like to lean on for that right rear, correct?
Yeah, you can see it just gets down on the door there. And if you're that car on the inside and you continue to try to carry that speed into the corner, easy to lose control.
Ray Black in the 07 able to check up. Doesn't look like he got any damage. And look at Michael Annette scooting away on the top side in the black and orange number 1. Oh, Clements just didn't have a shot.
Yeah, just nowhere to go. You've already made your commitment down into the corner.
Another look at it here. Again, the air taken off by the outside car, and Herbst just immediately found his car spinning.
Yeah, just things that you learn as a young driver, in the sport. You hear about it, but till you get yourself in that situation, you don't know exactly. He had tried for a couple of laps. They had raced side by side, done a great job, but that particular time just tried to carry a little bit too much speed with the car right on his door.
There's a damage to series veteran Jeremy Clements. Doesn't appear to be rubbing the tire, Dale.
No, I don't think that, but I'm wondering about if, gosh, that's a lot pushed right back to the radiator.
Again, the cooling issue.
Yes.
Yep. And he's got, it's all kind of knocked around there. That was a lot of contact.
Yeah, it sure was.
I'm sure he'll be able to stay out at this point. We'll let you know what he does if he does it in break under caution here in segment 2 at Iowa. Iowa Speedway, of course, grassroots racing in our opinion, and we've used the hashtag #MyTrackMyRoots to share with you a lot of the short tracks that we've gone to this year in addition to the super speedways we go to. How about some in California? Dixon Speedway, Alaska Motor Speedway. Yes, they race in Alaska. Sobo, we know that one well. Another California, Paris Auto Speedway. Go to a local short track, find a story, share your experience with the hashtag #MyTrackMyRoots. Christopher Bell's roots were in open-wheeled sprint car racing. It was in 2014 that he started driving stock cars for KBM in a super late model. And DJ, as they say, the rest is history.
Yeah, he's going to make a lot of history before he's finished running tracks all across the state.
Christopher's a tremendous talent. He is not unbeatable. This is a mechanical sport. Things can happen, and there are drivers who may just have their day in the sun. We'll see. As Brandon Jones in the 19 will start to his inside, a teammate. And then behind him, the Stewart Haas teammates of Cole Custer and Chase Briscoe. Who's good at Iowa?
Yeah.
These three.
Yeah, really good.
Remember those 2 years that Sam Hornish came out here? And
yeah.
I think one was a JGR and one was technically a KBM Xfinity Series car. Really showed the field, and now Christopher owns the laps-led category at Iowa Speedway.
And only his 5th start here. Let's watch Brandon Jones here, restarting on the inside in that 2nd spot. Can he hold that?
Bell goes in the restart zone. Here comes Jones. Bell's going to get a little help from the outside from Custer. Not that he needs it. Bell will clear, 3 wide behind him. Briscoe trying to hang on to that high side in the 98. Green 2 of Reddick now. Says, come on, let's make this line work. And Reddick's going to look down below him. Oh, Brandon Jones, don't drift too high. Nearly put John Nemechek in the fence, and John Hunter Nemechek saves it.
So we can see in just 2 laps that Brandon Jones has gone all the way back to 5th or 6th position now.
Started on the inside of the front row. The short run, not his friend right here. DJ, they go for so much on these restarts.
Yeah, and he did nothing wrong except he was restarting on the inside, on the front row.
So Nemechek now settles in the 4th position. Custer will look for a way by. Remember Custer, that was interesting. Custer started on the outside of the front row right behind Bell, was not able to maintain right there. And now Haley shows up, 7th for the black and green number 11 of Justin Haley. Colleague Racing in victory lane at Daytona for the first time in the organization's history. I've been through such a traumatic week with the loss of crew chief Nick Harrison. Would love to have a solid day for everyone. Here's Dylan with more on the 11.
Well, Dave, they've really struggled on the short tracks this year. It has not been their friend at all. Just 2 top 10s in the 4 races they've had this year. And I asked them why, and they don't really know. And that's not obviously a good thing. You would like to be able to figure out and diagnose exactly why you're struggling at a certain form of racetrack. And they really just have no idea. So they've been scratching their heads a little bit so far this weekend as well, complaining that they're a little bit too tight during short runs. Better on the long runs, but still a ways to go. So encouraging that they're already up to the top 10 here, Parker.
And Dylan, just ahead of him is the 23 of John Hunter Nemechek. And I've spoken a lot to John Hunter about his situation in this team this season. You know, their single car team as Cole Custer looks below him. That's pretty tight right there. But they're a single car team in this series against many multi-car cup-affiliate organizations. And that makes it really tough. And they've just not had a great recent couple of weeks. They really came here with a lot of optimism because it's a short track, a place he feels like when he was in a small family-owned truck team that he could make up the difference in equipment at times, and they're having a great run here. Hoping they can finish it out here today.
Yeah, and Parker, that included a race win right here at Iowa Speedway in the Truck Series.
Yeah, and that was a perfect pass that Cole Custer performed right there on John Hunter. Just you got to have a really good car and a lot of confidence in your ability to dive it off down to the very bottom and let the car roll, and then, you know, you got to be, as a driver, you're not waiting on the spotter. That's a feel thing, is to slide up in front of someone and make sure that you're clear of them, and Cole Custer did exactly that.
Yeah, the spotter's not right down there on the track with you, so you have to be your own best friend when it comes to making some of those passes, right?
Yeah, ultimately you're in charge of everything that happens, but if you're waiting on the spotter to tell you that, then that hole's probably going to close up and you've waited too long.
Custer back to fourth. That's where he resumed the race when the green flag came out. Jones taking a look at the outside there.
Yeah, I thought he had that move made right there, but I think he could see, and that's a wise move. I think in years past that Brandon Jones probably sticks the nose in there and creates an incident right there, but did a really good job right there recognizing that John Hunter was going to need a little bit more room, and he just backed out of the gas. Go back after him here again.
Nemechek high. Jones trying to go higher. Nemechek throws the block there. He'll hold the spot. He says, Brandon, if you're going to pass me, you're going to have to use that low side. Yeah, Jones's car is definitely a little bit better right now, Dale.
Yeah, there's no doubt he's got a quicker car. You can see he gets out of the gas a little bit sooner, getting into the corner, but he's really strong on the exit of the corner. But John Hunter's covering that position right now, making it difficult for Brandon. Just have to be patient in this situation. Wait for him just to slip just a split second and be ready to pounce on that.
Dylan.
This is another team, and it seems like there's a lot of them in this garage area that feel like they're fast and they have the pace they want, but just need a couple things to fall their way, and that's the case here for Brandon Jones as he leans on the rear bumper of John Hunter Nemechek. They just need to put a whole race together, get rid of some of this bad luck. Another team, short tracks have not been their friend this year, but feel like they've been a really strong contender this weekend. Practice was good. They worked the majority at the top of the racetrack, and that's where Brandon's making most of his hay right now.
And he's also seeing Haley in his rearview mirror, so while he tries to get around Nemechek, he's trying to keep Haley from getting around him. The pass for 6, the repass, the crossover, and unfortunately then for Brandon Jones, the wall contact.
Yeah, he makes a good run, gets to the outside, but Justin Haley's already established that he's going to be using that top groove, and unfortunately Brandon Jones gets into the wall really hard right here.
Yep. And Haley is trying to use the exit of the corner to keep his speed up, right, DJ?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's close as short track racing, but you have to be patient. You know, there's still a long way to go in this race.
Brandon Jones enters this race 12th in the playoff standings. He seems fairly safe there. You certainly would like to have a better day than this, Dylan.
Well, and they just took off the right front, and it didn't really look like the right front was flat, so there was as much damage as there was. You have to wonder if maybe it was something more internal, but they did come in and change tires and just sent Brandon back out, but it was a delayed stop because they were checking underneath in all the suspension components on the right front there because they don't want to send him back out here if there's something is indeed broke, and then he go out and hit the wall again and cause a bigger problem.
Yeah, Dylan, we can see now that right front is askew. Not on the 20 car. His teammate, Christopher Bell, continues to lead. As the battle for 6th that precipitated all this heats up again, Dave.
Yeah, let's see how Justin Haley decides to go about trying to make this pass for that 5th spot John Hunter Nemechek has right now. We know he's going to make him try the bottom to do that.
He's gonna let him see that maybe he can pass him off turn 4, and then he's going to move up.
Yeah, John Hunter does a good job really getting into the corner a little bit harder than these other drivers. So he carries speed there, so he gets a little separation. And even though they get back to the gas a little bit quicker, it makes it difficult for him to get up beside him.
And here Chris Rice perhaps telling his driver he saw what happened to the 19. You might want to be a little cautious here.
Well, the good thing for Justin Haley right here is the fact that he's got a little room behind him, so he can take his time deciding on exactly when maybe to try to make this move.
This is 2nd place. Chase Briscoe holding off Tyler Reddick, Parker.
And look where Tyler Reddick is running. He's entering higher than anyone on the racetrack into turn 1. He's doing a bit of a diamond on the exit there. I mean, would you be surprised to hear he's running higher than anyone else? He's the man that's running the wall in this series. Pretty awesome to watch. He's got many spotters talking to their drivers saying, this is where the 2 is running. You need to try it out. This is where the 2 is running. Try that. So so it's definitely catching the eye of many other teams out there, the speed he's making up next to the wall.
Yeah, Parker, that's how he won the championship at Homestead Miami Speedway last year. He was the first to go up there, Dale.
Yep.
And it rang true all day long. As you can see Haley on the right-hand side.
Yep.
Gotten past Nemechek.
And he waited and waited till he could make that move and drove off into the corner down the bottom of the track and then put that slide job on him right up in front of John Hunter. Took that 5th spot away. That's the way that you work and make the move.
27 laps run since the start of stage 2. Since the resumption under the green flag. 14 to go in stage 2. Christopher Bell won stage 1. Try for 2 in a row here. Right now he has a 2.7-second lead. Back for the stage finish from the Iowa Speedway. Will Bell hold on? Will it be a caution? Can Briscoe find his way fast forward? I love the look on our pit producer Kara's face today when I told her that you can get camping sites off of NASCAR.com, because I had the same reaction. You can? Yes, you can. Get everything on NASCAR.com. Go to NASCAR.com/camping and reserve a space today. You might have a good shot for the race too, Dale, if you climb up on top.
Absolutely.
Great seat.
Nothing better than that.
This has not been a great seat. It looks like the end of the day for Brandon Jones. That hard contact battling with Justin Haley. And this was the most recent. It doesn't look like there's any fixing that today. Dylan actually told us, Dale, in break, there's another control arm broken on the 19. And that's how they're going to roll after that. The leader, Christopher Bell, working his way through lap traffic. And the familiar number 20, and it's familiar seeing him out front here. Behind him, battles happening. Ryan Sieg, the black 39, he runs 7th. 8th, 9th, and 10th right there. Here comes Michael Annett. Good run to the outside. Blocked by Sieg.
He's got Junior Motorsports after him here.
He does. Strength in numbers there. The 3 cars behind him, all JRM cars. And now Michael Annett off the corner is going to look. Sieg knows he's there. He's going to protect that high line. Maybe not the extreme high line.
Yeah,
he was up there
just
earlier.
Enough, yeah, he's got just enough there that there's not enough room to stick your nose out there without taking a real chance.
Joined us in pre-race, that black and orange car driven by Michael Annett. He's a local here, grew up in Des Moines, just 30 miles to the west of this racetrack. 1,000 people here supporting him this weekend from the trucking company you see on the side of the car.
Yeah, and that's the spot right there where we saw Cole Custer do it earlier. We saw Justin Haley do it. You got to go all the way to the bottom, but Annett makes it work. Good run off the corner.
Allgaier tried to use that half a groove up there to get around Sieg, and that was almost disaster. And now Zane Smith will look low in the 8 car. You see those yellow stripes on Zane's car? A rookie in this series, one of 9 drivers who will pilot that car this year. The rotating seat for crew chief Taylor Moyer. Looking good today. Smith in 9th position. Allgaier's going to rethink this, DJ. I'm going to do something different here this time.
Well, he's just waiting to see if Zane Smith's going to be able to pull this off, or can he take this spot away once they get side by side.
All this happening with Allgaier in 10th on the final lap of stage 2. Justin Allgaier would like to get more stage points than 1. See what he can do. Right now he's in a position to just take 1. And that's what he's going to have to settle with. Smith will get 2, Sieg will get 3, and it'll get 4. But Christopher Bell will get 10 stage points and win stage 2 for another valuable playoff point. Not unfamiliar, DJ. He's won the last 7 stages here, has Christopher Bell.
Wow. Dominating performance so far.
He is showing you what he's made of. We'll come back to Iowa, set up the final stage for the U.S. Cellular 250. So this August, don't forget the Xfinity Series, hitting 3 road courses in 4 weeks. It's a critical stretch that begins with Watkins Glen next Saturday at 3 Eastern on NBC. And the best part of that, Dale, it'll be 2 weeks in a row for radio-style broadcasting from your friends here at NBC.
Yeah, very exciting. Calling all the action all around the road course.
Of course, this weekend at Pocono, we're starting it with Mike Bagley, Dale Jr., and Jeff Burton up in the corners of the 3-turn tricky triangle. And the reason we're doing it, like to bring a different style of verbal action, calling the visual action on the racetrack that we've enjoyed for a long time and put it into action last year.
Yeah, just a different perspective when you're out there looking instead of being up in the booth and the car's so far away from you. You're right on top of them there.
We just hope the ambient conditions are, okay for those three guys. I'm sure they will be. All right, pit road open. Crews will be ready to go to work here. Will Christopher Bell hold position on pit road? Let's go to Dylan.
Chase Briscoe into his stall first again, complaining that he wants some more lateral grip, a little bit tight landing. Then make a left rear chassis adjustment for Goodyear tire Sunoco fuel for him. Justin Haley hitting his marks in the middle of your screen. Chris Rice said he's going to help him get a little bit more turn off the center and some more forward drive, as well as they're changing right side tires at the moment. Parker.
Dylan, and the leader, Christopher Bell, actually, if you can believe this, is feeling that he's a little free on the short run. They did an adjustment in the right rear there for Goodyear tire Sunoco fuel. Also pitting out of fourth place is Cole Custer, saying he's too free at the start of the run and too tight at the end of the run. So a tricky condition for Mike Shipley. Let's see if Christopher Bell wins the pit road race. He does.
I thought Briscoe had a good stop. Bell had one that was even better. Custer picks up a position over Reddick. Green flag will be back out when we come back to the Iowa Speedway for the final stage. Who will win? Will it be Bell? Can someone challenge? Gorgeous afternoon in Newton, Iowa. Cars circulating before the restart of the race. And we saw Christopher Bell, the stage winner, on the top side, rolling very high under caution. Dylan Welch, a dirt track racer himself, had an idea what that might be, Dylan.
Well, and Dave, quickly, in dirt track racing, when you run a certain groove, just because of how the tires slide through the racetrack, it kicks up. Basically what marbles is the concept is on dirt. We call it crumbs in dirt track racing. So then under yellow, you go out there and you drive through those crumbs to pack them back into the racetrack just so you can go up there and the track surface isn't so dirty. It's the same concept here. I think Christopher Bell was up there running right up against the outside wall, picking up the marbles that get kicked up from the tires just naturally degrading over the course of a run. So when you do that, and then you come in and take tires and put new tires on, you don't have to worry about driving back down into the corner and having those marbles on your tires because you went out there and cleaned them off already. So maybe that's what he was doing, maybe it wasn't, but it looked like he was trying to pick up the crumbs out there up against the outside wall.
Dylan, thanks for the insight. Bell now in the groove. No crumbs involved, Dale, with fresh Goodyear tires.
Yeah, and a dominant race car, but anything can happen on these restarts.
Chase Briscoe has been good. He's the white Mustang down to the inside, the red and white Toyota to the outside. Bell will see the green flag in the restart zone. He goes. Got a good jump, but Briscoe's right there. And down to the inside. Here comes Cole Custer. And Custer make it work on fresh tires. They're 4 and 5 wide behind him.
Well, Briscoe was able to slide up in front of Tyler Reddick. I thought Reddick was in a great spot there to move into just the second position, but just didn't get it going.
Look at them spread out here on the progressive banking of Iowa Speedway with fresh tires on. They feel racing.
Oh yeah, after you've been out there for a lot of laps on those older tires, this feels great for a few laps now.
So there's Bell reestablishing the lead. 98 of Briscoe there. Now Reddick is going to look just a little lower. The 2 of Reddick trying to go by for third.
How about Custer making that power move all the way to the bottom?
And got the job done.
Said thankfully that was a teammate behind me. Didn't hit me too hard.
You can see Justin Haley in the green and white car, the 11, creeping back into the picture. Haley runs 5th. All that work he did to get around John Hunter Nemechek. Nemechek's now in his rearview mirror. Oh, off the corner there. Gets wide, and Nemechek will get by. It was a nice save, but it cost him a spot. Will it cost him 2? Justin Haley, 3rd car in your line right there. Ooh, I don't know.
I thought he might have got a little bit of tap. I think it was just taking the air off the rear spoiler right there. You can see,
yep,
brakes loose.
Allgaier with a helmet cam had a front row seat.
Really good move there. And Allgaier's taking that spot away also. So it looks like Justin Haley battling a little bit of a loose condition on these new tires.
And Dale, we talk about it all the time, the air, how important it is and how much of a factor it is when it gets taken away or pushed against your car in places you don't like.
Yeah, especially as you're trying to power up on the exit of the corner and you're already a little bit to the free side. All it takes is a little bit loss of air on that the back of the car, and then all of a sudden you're fighting it, can't get to the gas all the way, and John Hunter did a nice job of driving by him.
So look out of the back of Allgaier's car. During the U.S. Cellular onboard camera. Running sixth, Dale, we talked to him in pre-race. He was confident. I don't know that I've seen the speed there today. Kind of like what it's been lately. Check out the battle here for seventh. Sieg will try to take it away from Haley.
Not going to quite get far enough by him to slide up in front here, but see Haley really struggling with his car right now.
Sieg has been a top 10 runner all day long. Trying to get seventh from Haley. Justin Haley, a couple of years in the Truck Series after winning a NASCAR K&N Pro Series championship. Now up to the Xfinity Series. It's a little bit of a difference here, a learning curve as well, as you might expect as you climb the ladder.
Yeah, and Ryan Sieg there trying to make that pass. So when you get down to the bottom, you need to complete that in the first couple of corners. If you don't, the longer you run side by side, the more you heat up your tires, the less likely it is that you're going to be able to make the pass on that attempt. So now you fall back in behind and see if you can get another run as we see Haley loose once again off of turn 4.
Junior Motorsports teammates all running together behind them. Sieg's going to try to complete that pass. Careful. And behind him, the 1 of Annette, the 8 of Smith, and the 9 of Gregson battling for position. Smith to the inside. I think, yeah, that would have been dicey. Zane could have taken that, but that would have been pretty optimistic to take it that hard from a teammate coming off the corner.
Yeah, you put yourself and the teammate in a bad position in that type of situation. Still just over 111 laps to go here, so a lot of racing. Everybody has to make another pit stop.
You and I were talking earlier today about, would you like to see that as a green flag pit stop, or would you like to see that under caution? And it'd be fun both ways. What did you decide?
Well, I would be the one that would like to see everybody with about 60 to go be able to, where we have a caution, so we get the tires and then we have another great restart.
And a part of that would be to see all the teams on pit road kind of competing against each other on a level playing field, so to speak.
Yeah, you have that. You get one more adjustment made, because under green flag conditions, you're not going to make much of an adjustment. It'd have to be a track bar or a wedge, quick adjustment there, or more than likely just air pressure and try to get a quick pit stop done.
Michael Lynette staying to the high side there. Zane Smith looking every direction to try to get by his teammate. Allgaier trying to make progress now. You're on board with Justin Allgaier. Let's see exactly how a lap at Iowa looks like. He had to get out of the throttle there, didn't he, DJ?
Oh, yeah, but he dove down into the inside there, made that work, and now he's going to be able to make the pass, take the spot away. Great job by the veteran Justin Allgaier there to take advantage of that situation and move into the top 5.
So you see him running the U.S. Cellular branding. DJ, I have to force some of our viewers into a dual screen experience right now, all right? Because there's a contest going on that ends today, and it's that you could win the trophy if you go to uscellular250.com. There's no fee to enter, void where prohibited, no purchase necessary. And at the end of the day, the winner will sign the trophy, and you get to put it in your own trophy case.
That's pretty cool. And you didn't even have to go out there and sweat and fight that car like that. You get the trophy. I like that idea.
That's right. I don't think you and I are allowed to enter, though.
Okay.
Cool idea, though. uscellular250.com. Check it out. Get signed up before the end of today. Whether it's Justin Allgaier or current leader Christopher Bell, who has won stage 1 and 2, the winner will sign it, you'll have it from U.S. Cellular. Bell continues to lead. Custer's back there, but over a second right now for Christopher. The veteran David Starr into the wall in the 52 car, and that brings out caution number 5 at the Iowa Speedway. DJ, this is interesting. We just talked about whether the U.S. Cellular 250 would be halted by a green flag, or would be interesting in green flag pit stops or caution. The interesting thing is here, the number of laps remaining.
Yeah, that's the big thing. You see just loose on entry there, tried to gather it back up, but kind of overcorrected and into the wall. You don't have much time when you're running that close up there to the wall in that top groove. But yeah, this is a difficult decision here for the crew chiefs. They would rather it be like 60, 70, even 80 laps to go. I think it would make their mind up completely as to what to do here.
Right, and to put on that last set of tires.
Set of tires.
Yeah, and know that you have to run them.
Yep, regardless.
Over 90 laps. That's going to be tough. Teams were allotted 4 sets for the race day. 1 in qualifying, stayed on the car for the start of the race, and then 3 were laying in pit road.
Yeah. You know, it'd be worth the gamble if the leaders come for others to stay and save that set of tires and hope that they get a caution a little bit later on that may be a huge advantage to them.
All right. Well, while we wait for NASCAR to open pit road and see what people decide, I'll let you know what's on for the rest of the night on NBCSN. The Whip Snakes versus the Chaos, Premier League Lacrosse on NBCSN. And then the Lucas Oil Motocross National from Washougal, Washington. Jason Wygant providing me with the pronunciation for that earlier this weekend.
We're going to have some chaos here shortly.
I think we will see some chaos. I don't know if you pull the Whip Snake out to make your car go faster or not. That works in horse racing. Christopher Bell sees the green light open, and he's going to bring the leading number 20 to pit road. Chase Briscoe will hit first. Dylan's there.
And he's complaining that he wants the entry to be a little bit better, so they're going to do fuel only. They audibled there from, it looked like, right side tires. Richard Boswell was screaming on the radio, fuel only for the 98, Parker.
And your leader, Chris Bell, decides to take those last set of tires. This is going to be 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel. Didn't really have many comments on the radio, as you'd expect, because this car has been in the lead the entire time. Also, Cole Custer pits. They're going to do 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel. Still needs that car to take off better at the beginning of the run to be able to challenge the 20 car, he said, and then gets a little too tight on the long run.
So we believe that 3 cars at least have stayed out, DJ, did not choose this time to pit. And interestingly, Chase Briscoe looks like they were kind of audibling and ran over the hose as he was leaving. So we'll see how NASCAR calls that. So we come back to Iowa. Back at Iowa Speedway, pit stops were available. 6 chose not to, including the leader of the race now, John Hunter Nemechek. Ryan Sieg stayed out, Michael Annett, Shane Lee, Dylan Bassett, and we'll see what happened to the 98 of Chase Briscoe. Change of plans here, Dale, and the tire changer still had the gun in the hose across pit.
Can't do that.
No, you cannot do that. So that's what happened to the 98 of Briscoe. Dylan, what about the doubles? More on the 98?
Well, they just obviously were a little bit confused there all across the board. Chase wasn't sure if he should have went there or if he should have waited. So it was a little bit of a cluster down here, as you'd expect. But Richard Boswell, the crew chief, just came on the radio and said, we've got to stick to the game plan here. They thought about maybe coming down and just putting tires on because they're going to be at the back anyways. But not only does that just use up a set, it doesn't really put you at any more of an advantage than anybody else. So right now they're going to stay out and just try and march as far forward as they can here on these older tires, and then maybe come down again here later and try and put some new tires on if they get a yellow and hope for the best.
Well, that's a day that hasn't gone completely south, nor has it for this driver, although too fast exiting pit road was the call for Cole Custer.
Yeah, you can see as we were with him there and showing him on pit road that
Mike Shiplett talking it over with a NASCAR official. Not sure what he would be arguing.
Now
maybe they're going to put the tires back on to work their way through the field and have the same option that Chase Briscoe, his teammate, will have later. Interesting call. It is a very interesting call. Can you pit while you're being penalty?
Well, he's going to the back anyway.
Yep. Interesting, interesting.
I'm sure that's what he was making sure that
there
wasn't anything there that would put him in a worse situation than what they've already made.
All right, so now the job for teammates Cole Custer and Chase Briscoe. Keep your car clean and hope and believe that with 93 to go, there's going to be another caution and a chance to put on that fresh set of tires once you've made up a lot of track position. Meanwhile, back to green, John Hunter Nemechek leads the field. The black 39 of Ryan Sieg to the inside. Shane Lee in the red and white 28 on the high side. Oh, and here comes Christopher Bell. Once again, the 20 not afraid to take advantage of those fresh tires and plow through. Bell down to the low side. And John Hunter Nemechek will be a little bit of a sitting duck right there. We'll see. Bell's still got to get around him. And I don't think Nemechek's going to give him the high line, Dale.
No, he's not going to give him that, but Bell's car is good enough, and he's got those fresher tires that he's going to make this pass. Oh, within a lap, I would say. And then he'll just get out front and take it the easy as he can as he leads the race to save as much tire as possible.
Allgaier showing some strength now. Trying to take advantage of this restart.
Hey, that's clear by 4 inches, no problem.
Yep, never any doubt. So Nemechek falls back to second. Christopher Bell resumes the lead. He's had most of the day.
Now, these two have battled since the green flag dropped. Justin Allgaier and Tyler Reddick. They've been those two cars that have found each other the entire race.
Always seems to happen, doesn't it?
Yes, it's going to happen somewhere along the way.
Caution on the track. And it's the 0-0 of Cole Custer up in the wall. And what did we just say? Goal number 1 now as you're coming through the field. Don't bend up that race car. Here's what happened. Down the backstretch, coming up on Ryan Vargas in the 15. Oh, that's mechanical, Dale. That was strange. Parker, what do you think?
Well, the team was just discussing the same thing. They were saying, Cole came across the radio and said, you know, I don't know exactly what happened there. His spotter said you were still going straight when it happened, so something had to have gone down in terms of a tire or something broke on inside that race car. But that was very odd for them too, and he wasn't exactly sure what was happening.
Very strange. Cole Custer damaged and now out of the race at Iowa after a very odd turn to his Saturday. Penalties on pit road can lead to bad things, and in the back of the pack following a speeding penalty, Cole Custer was unable to control his 0-0. Very odd looking incident that sent him into the turn 3 wall. He's out. So 2 of the big 3 remain. Tyler Reddick running 4th, Christopher Bell running 1st, and those other drivers we told you would be in the conversation. And that will include Michael Annett. He's on pit road here.
Like he's been into the wall.
See if we can find it for you here. Black car, right side of your screen. Yeah, rubbed it for a few feet there.
Close racing.
Messed up the decals, though. That was a good-looking car a moment ago. So Michael will come off of pit road. Doesn't look like he changed those tires. He might have the set on that he has to finish the race with, right?
Yeah.
Already put him on. Check the damage and send the Des Moines native back out onto his home track. So looking at 85 to go here, still under caution, just cleaning up a little of the higher groove there to make sure it's very raceable. And Christopher Bell has had his handle on this field today, continues to lead and is out front. However, with just over 80 laps to go, Dale, and we just saw it with Cole Custer, anything can happen.
Well, anything can happen, there's no doubt, but the, you know, 2 of the biggest challengers that he had have already, and came from the same team, Chase Briscoe, Cole Custer there, you know, they've kind of shot themselves in the foot here and made things a lot more difficult. So, you know, at this point in time, looks like Christopher Bell can just kind of run things and control this race pretty much the way that he has, but not having to jump out to a huge lead and take care of the tires as much as possible.
Chase Briscoe ran over an air hose that leads to one of the pit guns on pit road. That's a penalty, sent him to the back for the restart. He is currently 14th, so he's within reach, but how much of his car is he going to have to use up racing his way through the field?
Yeah, he's going to have to do that. Plus, he still has that set of tires, as does, John Hunter Nemechek staying out there. We see Shane Lee still up inside the top 10 and has that stayed out. But, they're going to need a timely caution here with about somewhere between 40 and 50 to go to make all of that work. Because it wasn't worth it for him to come in here now.
That's right.
Only a few laps. That would just put them at the back of the pack.
There's Chase working the tires. Sun setting at the Iowa Speedway. And it's certainly set on a couple of drivers' days today. We started the day talking about the big three, and of course, Michael Annett, a fourth driver who has won a race this season in the Xfinity Series as a regular, as a championship contender. And other drivers who might be fourth in the conversation. And among those on our short list were the 7 of Justin Allgaier, the blue car there in third place. Dale, because of his experience, and now we see, even though he's been in the wall a little bit and made some gutsy moves, he rides along with a good position at this point in the race.
Well, he's got himself in the mix, and that's what you want to do. You just want to give yourself a chance in case anything could happen as we get down towards the end of this race. So just give yourself a chance, and you have to be in there to do this.
So Dale, after Saturday short track racing, NASCAR goes big track racing at Pocono. Here are the events coming up tomorrow on NBCSN, preceding the U.S. Track and Field Outdoor Championships. The championship picture for the Monster Energy Cup Series looks like this. A lot more winners in the Monster Energy Series that are going for the championship here. Of course, Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. with the most.
Yeah, the real thing to look at is that battle for the bubble over that 16th spot. A lot happening from basically 12th on back. Kyle Larson crashed in practice today, so he's in a backup car.
Last week, Ryan Newman was out. Then he was in. Jimmy Johnson was in. Now he's out. All over the cut line, and that's part of the pressure of the playoffs in NASCAR.
Kevin Harvick on the pole after that big win in New Hampshire last week. Great battle by he and Denny Hamlin there at the end.
It was. Denny was second-guessing himself a little bit, but at the end of the day, I think raced the kind of race that he wanted to race.
Did the right thing.
Yep. All right, here it is John Hunter Nemechek with tires that are not as fresh as the dominant car of the day, the 20 of Christopher Bell on the outside. And behind him, both of those cars pitted as well, so Nemechek may have his hands full here and on the inside non-preferred lane. We'll see how he does. The control car, Christopher Bell. He fires off in the 20. Bell clears easily. Let's see who can get what on this restart. Way up high in the speedy dry. That's the dust you saw from Justin Allgaier kicking it up.
Justin Haley in that 11 car here today, doing an outstanding job. Doesn't have an Xfinity win yet, but he's a Cup winner.
Yes, he is. You never know what a rain delay will do for you, Dale.
Hey, exactly right.
Right call at the right time.
Take them however you can get them. Hard to come by.
Remember, Justin Haley won at the biggest stage, Daytona, earlier this year. Now, of course, riding with the memory of his late crew chief, Nick Harrison, on board with him today. Impressive run so far for Haley. He's third.
Three young drivers right here battling it out. That fifth spot. Zane Smith seeing if he can take advantage. He's got a little fresher tires with John Hunter Nemechek.
That was a nice run off the corner. Nice pass completed there.
That's the way it's done.
Parker, you have more on John Hunter?
Well, guys, I think that was a very impressive restart by John Hunter Nemechek there on the bottom lane in second place on way older tires. Wow, Riley Herbst didn't get very close there off 4, but way older tires in every car around here. Remember, the object here, the strategy is that we get a caution here now, maybe 20 or 30 laps from here. They're able to come down as long as they stay in the lead lap, get those new tires, and have vastly newer tires than all these other cars in front of them. So they're playing the long game here, kind of throwing a Hail Mary to this strategy, but maybe it'll work out. That was a very impressive restart.
That's an interesting point. 20 cars on the lead lap, Dale. 5 of them, I believe, stayed out. It would be on the less fresh tires, so you'd go back to 16th or so if you were first off pit road in that situation.
And you may get a few of those others that decide to come in, make adjustment, even putting back the other tires that only have 20-some green flag laps on them. You might even try to do that. So they might not restart as far back as what you would think.
Stay tuned. We'll see how Chad Norris's strategy works out for young John Hunter Nemechek. Heard some damage to the left side of that 18 car. It's all pushed in. The race for 10th right here. 08 is Galding. The 86 is Brandon Brown. 36, Josh Williams. And Michael Annett coming back through the field.
Oh, big slide.
Careful, Brandon. And now Dylan Bassett back through in the 90. Bassett's having a good run. That black and red and blue car tuned on and maintained by Dylan and his older brother Ronnie Jr. Ronnie's actually spotting for him today in the spotter stand. So I guess, you know, having Big Brother in your ear is okay sometimes as long as he's calling you right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But this is impressive. They operate a very small number of cars. Again, a family operation. Borrow Mario Gosselin's number for the weekend, and out they come. Dylan, a former winner in the K&N Pro Series, and that's where they spent most of their time. Wanted to make a little bit of a jump up this year, and so got themselves a few Xfinity cars and are putting them together. Whoa, careful there. Michael Annett to the high side of Josh Williams. Meanwhile, Cole Custer is with Dylan at the Care Center.
He has been released, and we'll ask Cole. It looked like a strange, kind of unique incident. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly couldn't exactly tell you. I got really loose, stepped on me huge going into 3, and I just overcorrected it into the fence. I don't know. The 51 had a problem there, if he was putting himself down on the track or not, but I don't know. I'm really frustrated. I wish I didn't get that speeding penalty to put us back there. But our Haas Automation Mustang was good all day. We were getting close to the 20, but I just hate that we're out of it now.
That's Cole Custer, guys. Again, checked and released from the infield care center.
Thank you, Dylan. And Dale, that confirms for us it was as weird to him as it was to us.
Yeah, just a strange situation. But, you know, we see these things all the time. We talk about it, making mistakes, how that compounds and creates another situation for them. It's his first speeding penalty of the 2019 season. Came in very untimely for him.
You may have been watching out of the corner of your eye there, the one of Michael Annett off the fence just a little bit as he was battling back here with Josh Williams and Dylan Bassett. Williams in the 36. Annett right there. Not the first time he's been in the wall today, Dale.
No. First time on entry, though, so that's something a little different. But as a driver, it's hard to see right there as you're trying to set that up, and I think he had to get on the brakes, and that shot the car to the right a little bit.
Sun going down now, too, here at Iowa.
Yeah.
Wonder if that's going to have a little effect on him. See the shadows forming as the cars make their way. 68 laps to go. 182 out of 250 completed. Most of them have been led by Christopher Bell. There he is, working the high side. Looking very good in the short track program. Ran well, dominated last week at New Hampshire, led 186 out of 200 laps. You want to call the magic mile a short track. I think it sets up that way to some degree.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I think Christopher Bell's just kind of cruising, doing what he needs to do to keep the lead out there right now in case there's a late race caution and restart.
And watching out for trouble, Dale, right? You're out front like that.
Just being a little more cautious right at this point. He has that luxury. He has the best car. Tyler Reddick is there just over a second behind, which is as close as anybody's stayed to the 20 car pretty much all day long. But again, I believe part of that is Christopher Bell just being smart and taking care of everything.
Oh, John Hunter with a little correction right there. Will Herbst be able to pounce? Riley takes a look, but then Nemechek collected it and got a good run off the corner. As we watched Herbst battling here, you'll note that drives one of those Toyota Supras. And he'll be our Toyota driver update today. The young man from Las Vegas, Nevada, whose family was in off-road racing, but he never competed there himself. His track has been a little bit different, and now he finds himself here in one of NASCAR's National Series, Parker.
Right, Dave, and I think that update graphic there showed his day perfectly. Remember, oh, wow, John Hunter Nemechek came very close there. But remember, he spun out in turns 1 and 2, got that left side damage from the 51 of Jeremy Clements getting into it. They went a lap down. They fought all the way back, and now fighting just outside the top 5. I think this is a very impressive run for young Riley Herbst.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job there. I think he gets coached by Drew Herring, who's an excellent racer, but a big part of Joe Gibbs Racing and the whole Toyota program. I think you would probably tell him, hey, when you get yourself in that situation, separate yourself even more. Go to the very bottom, try to carry that speed and get a good run up off the corner, because you're putting yourself in a bad spot once again. He's done a great job of coming back from that spin earlier and the contact that he had. So he's got himself in the top 10 here, making a nice run. There you go. Go all the way to the bottom there.
See if he can clear him coming off the corner. Not going to do it. That momentum on the high side from Nemechek keeps him in position. Again, that for 6th. So past halfway in the 2019 season. It's the 19th race out of 33. And again, these drivers are setting up for a very quick playoff, Dale. 7 races only, 12 drivers involved. So basically, you just have 2 3-race rounds and then the Homestead Miami Championship. So you got to have your stuff right.
Yeah, you got to be ready to go. You know, those 3 drivers up at the top, they're going to make their way through. So you've got to figure out how to gain points or figure out a way to win one of those playoff races to move yourself to the next round. But you've got to be ready to go.
Yep, great. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and they're in the midst, what makes it so tough? They're in the midst of 15 straight races here and having all of these road courses, everything to do. So, keeping yourself prepared and ready and looking ahead to the playoffs and keeping your better cars for the playoffs.
Now we'll keep one eye toward this battle for 6th place between Nemechek and Herbst. Maybe we should keep both eyes on it right here. That was close.
Yeah, now he's made the good run here. So carry your speed down in and go to the very bottom of the racetrack. Separate yourself.
Give another try at it there. I think John Hunter knows you're there, Riley. See if we can complete the pass here. And these drivers are still making laps in the 25-second range, which takes them over 130 miles an hour into the corners, Dale. So, a lot to work with here.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here trying to tell him what to do. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, there's nothing easy about this, especially at a track that's difficult for even the very best to make passes on.
And Noah Gregson's going to join this battle. 6th place, John Hunter Nemechek. 7th place, Riley Herbst. 8th place, Noah Gragson. Michael Annett around off of turn number 2, and that brings out the caution with 50 laps to go at Iowa. Up in the high side, DJ just can't hold it there.
Yeah, that's all. That little higher, that's up in the marbles there, as you can see that rubber build up there, and just got out from under him. And then as he locked it down, blew out a couple of tires. Did manage to keep it off of the safer barrier down there on the inside.
Yep. Finished just before that. He was running 12th, and it got away from him. Frustrating end to his day. You saw in nonstop not just this spin, a lot of great racing action as well. This will be a great break for those that stayed out on lap 154, Dale. They got that extra set of tires waiting
there. We were wondering exactly how this might play out, and is that a big enough advantage for them to go up there and challenge? we're back to only having 15 cars on the lead lap, and some of those guys back there are a little slower, and they will probably pit also.
Tell you what else was interesting, the way that Tyler Reddick was closing in on leader Christopher Bell.
Yeah, we'd seen that close up. He cut it in half. It had been about 1.2 seconds at one time, and he cut it down to just 0.6 of a second.
So is that something that Reddick has found?
Yeah, and do they opt to come in? Do they have enough, have they put too many laps on these tires? They've got tires that have about 23, 24 green flag laps on them, sitting in the pits that are cooled down now. They've adjusted the air pressure, so is that a better scenario for them? This is a tough spot, especially for the crew chief. If you're the crew chief on the 20 car, because if you stay out, everybody else may come in and have fresher tires than what you're going to have.
Do what they don't. Sometimes the opposite strategy is the way to go. Jason Ratcliffe will have to make that decision for the leader, Christopher Bell. Randall Burnett thinking about what to do for second place. Tyler Reddick. Pace car has picked the field up. We'll see if the pits are open this time and who decides to make a move. These tires, by the way, have 35 green flag laps on them, Dale, so they've got more than the ones lying in the pit lane for them.
Yeah, but not much. We heard earlier that the tires aren't really a big issue. It's not a wear factor or anything like that. It would just be fresher, cooler tires that you could put on than what you have, but a real gamble that they didn't take, so they stayed out.
All right, so the pits were open. Leaders stayed out. Number of cars to pit road, including the 98, Dylan.
And the plan here is not to pack the car full of fuel. They only need about 47 laps worth, so they want to keep the weight off the nose so Chase can charge the corner a little better. Track car adjustment, 4 tires and fuel for Briscoe. Parker?
And this is exactly what John Hunter Nemechek and this 23 GMS racing team wanted. They put 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel inside that 23 car. This is playing exactly into the strategy they wanted. They have the freshest tires in the field.
About that, Noah Gregson on pit road as well with some fresh rubber. Nemechek, Briscoe, Ryan Sieg did the same. We'll see what they can do with that as the race winds down. Be around 42 or 3 laps to go when they take the green now.
Yeah, what we've seen all day long, I'm not sure how much the tires are going to make a difference, but the only one of those cars that really has been able to even challenge the 20 car of Christopher Bell was the 98 of Chase Briscoe, but he's going to have a number of cars between he and the leader.
It's been a fun day so far, Dale, hasn't it, at the Iowa Speedway? The day started with Christopher Bell on the pole and arguably the best car of the day. He led laps early and showed the strength of the 20.
Yeah, jumped right out and showed that he had the car to beat. A little contact here early on between Justin Allgaier.
That wasn't the last time that Austin Cindric would find trouble. Caught the wall here off of a number 9 of Noah Gregson, and that was the end of Cindric's day. Gregson, by the way, has repaired to run in the top 5. Christopher Bell would win stage 1. Stage 2 began with more Bell and missed trouble for Riley Herbst.
Yeah, trying to make a pass here on Ryan Sieg. Got a little bit loose, and then some contact from Jeremy Clements.
Clements had nowhere to go. Damage on his car, but he continues to roll. Then this. Brandon Jones in the wall hard, trying to get around Justin Haley.
Yeah, a lot of damage to the right front. Eventually cut down another tire for him.
Stage 2 winner, you guessed it, Christopher Bell. And then this for David Starr. Got in the corner, got a little bit wiggly, and couldn't control it. Put the 52 car in the wall. That brought out the caution. Interesting strategy plays at that point. Cole Custer, a weird incident. He had a speeding penalty, went to the back, and then told us he didn't know what happened there, Dale.
Yeah, it looked like he got a little bit loose, and as he tried to get on the brakes to get it slowed down, the car shot to the right and into the wall, ended his day.
The most recent caution was when Michael Annett lost the 1 car in the high line. Wow, who was that just missed him? Lucky day there. Annett was able to keep it off of the inside wall. We'll have poorer track position listed in 16th right now as we get ready to resume the race. Lights are still on the pace car. And once those goes off, that'll be 1 lap to go till we get green flag racing again. It's been a gorgeous afternoon in central Iowa. Fans have seen a good show, especially if you're a fan of the number 20, Christopher Bell, but there's been good racing all over the track. And Dale, really seeing drivers learn how to work that pass. when do I dive? Riley Herbst's the most recent example. How far do you dive into the corner low when the high line is preferred and make that slide job move?
Yeah, just not much grip down there on the bottom. It's really rough, but we've seen a couple of really good passes made, drivers with a little more experience. But Riley Herbst figured it out. It took him a while to get all of that done, but he did a nice job there. I think it's interesting here. We've talked about the 2 and the 7 being around each other all day long, but they're lined up on the inside. So you've got Justin Haley up there who's going to restart behind Christopher Bell. Does he take advantage of that?
Well, and I was looking at the 2 of Tyler Reddick, Dale. He knows how to make that dive down move, and it would be on the leader, Christopher Bell, as we get ready to go.
Won't be from a lack of trying here, I'll assure you.
It may be chaos. I wonder if we get the whip snake out to to whip that 2 car and get it by the 20 and see what's coming up on NBCSN following racing action at the Iowa Speedway. Winding the laps down here when they come by the start-finish line. 43 to go. Who will take it from Iowa? Coming to the restart zone, the control car again, Christopher Bell. He gets on the gas. So does Tyler Reddick. Reddick tries to sniff a little air off the fender. Oh, his car is loose. Here comes Justin Allgaier.
Reddick hangs there on the quarter panel. See if he can make that big move down inside. Christopher Bell's not going to give him any room here.
Drifting up. Bell has the momentum. Bell will clear. Now Allgaier trying to do the crossover move on Reddick.
Yeah, just what Christopher Bell's hoping to see. These guys get racing behind him.
Oh, Bell didn't have that great a corner either. And side by side coming off there right on his bumper. And here comes John Hunter Nemechek. What did he do?
4 tires.
Pitted, has 4 fresh tires. Oh, into the side of the 2. Into the quarter panel goes Allgaier, and John Hunter Nemechek is going to take advantage. He'll try to get second.
He needs about 1 more good corner right here, and he can take that second spot away from Tyler Reddick.
Nemechek was 10th on the restart. He's going to take second. Now, what can he do?
Well, we were wondering what fresh tires would do. We know its car is not quite as good. That's what the 20 car, nobody's car has been as good as Christopher Bell and his car today.
But if you can put a little advantage to your car, can you take on Bell?
Yeah, we'll see what the lap time is the next time. John Hunter ran within a half a tenth of what Bell did as he was making a pass there for second.
Ryan Sieg was on pit road as well for tires. Here he comes.
Chase Briscoe not far behind them with 4 tires.
The alternating pit strategies always make the end of a NASCAR race fun. And if you're Nemechek, Briscoe, or Sieg, you've got the advantage right now.
And Nemechek ran about the same lap time as Christopher Bell did that last lap.
Another advantage for Nemechek may be his win here in a Truck Series race. Has a feel for the place. And now just half a second behind Christopher Bell.
Yeah, knows how to win an Xfinity race too. Closing the gap a little bit here.
Reddick maintaining that high side. Boy, he's going to be hard to pass for Sieg. That black 39, he's going to sail it in there.
Yeah, it's important to get by here right now for Ryan Sieg to try to take advantage of these 4 tires. Can't mess around there too long though. Nice pass.
Put the power down and it's stuck. So Sieg now up to 3rd. Here comes Briscoe for 4th.
Nemechek about a tenth and a half quicker on that last lap than what Christopher Bell was.
Same move by Chase Briscoe. He's going to get by Tyler Reddick. And so now you have the setup. The leader, Christopher Bell, on older tires. Nemechek, Sieg, and Briscoe all just stopped and took on fresh Goodyear tires. And there is John Hunter.
Right there at him. Now catching him and passing him, that's 2 different things.
Super setup for the end of the race at Iowa. John Hunter Nemechek, that number 23, chasing down Christopher Bell. And DJ, does he have to be conscious of making the move early versus later when the tires equal out?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to sit here behind Christopher Bell too long.
Good drive off the corner. Here comes John Hunter Nemechek down the backstretch. Bell maintains a spot. How about off the corner? Oh, can't do it there.
No, but you can, he's got the position now, but you can see Christopher Bell really drive it in hard and down into turn 1.
Oh, John Hunter working that wheel so much now. Bell back to the advantage off the corner. This is for the lead at Iowa. John Hunter Nemechek trying to pass Christopher Bell off turn 4.
Really good run off of that corner. See if he can dive to the bottom.
Both drivers doing everything they can on the edge of control. The preferred line, the red car, Bell. John Hunter Nemechek with the fresher tires in the 23. Trouble for Brandon Brown in the 86, and that'll bring out the caution.
That is not what John Hunter wanted at all. He had Christopher Bell on the ropes right there.
He was working him hard. And then this looks like terminal failure for Brandon Brown. Gets it shut down and off the racetrack, but you saw that window net come down. Afraid there might be a little fire there. See the top of the screen there. Boom. Drivers behind him trying to find a way by, Dale.
Yeah, did a nice job. He did a great job of getting down out of the groove, but these other drivers navigating through there without any incident.
And that's too bad. That sponsor Vero with him, that's a social networking software that came on board with them, getting involved in NASCAR for the first time. And they'll see their day end early.
Yeah, he was running 18th, having a good day.
Okay then.
Yeah.
This changes things up again. But as you say, the way John Hunter Nemechek was working on Christopher Bell, all he wanted was the same conditions and to continue working hard to get by that 20.
Yeah, now he's got a restart on the inside, which is going to be difficult, especially as you look at Ryan Sieg's going to be on his bumper, but then the car that was arguably second fastest for a lot of the day, Chase Briscoe, is going to line up on Christopher Bell's bumper.
And now, unless someone's been hiding a used set of tires back there that they're going to throw on, I think they're all out of options. And this will be a race to the end.
What a great job by John Hunter on that restart. He restarted 10th there and was able to navigate his way up through there in a very timely fashion and not use up his car.
Now, the story of John Hunter Nemechek there in second place begins with a racing family. His dad, Joe, of course, raced for a long time in NASCAR. And his uncle, John, was killed in a Truck Series accident at Homestead Speedway early on in that track's career. And in memory of brother John, Joe named their firstborn son John Hunter. He's carried on the family tradition, has raced in the Truck Series and won there. Often, DJ, on a family budget where they weren't running with a lot of people and a whole lot of dollars, but a whole lot of knowledge and skill.
Yeah, and heart. And that's what they've done. You know, they've worked as a family with giving it everything that they've had. And of course, Joe had great success through the years, winning cup races.
Of course, winning at Kansas last year in the Xfinity Series. That's on his resume as well. You know, he'd like to find a way around Christopher Bell. They're getting the bottom lane cleaned up there, Dale. As you said, Brandon Brown, who looked like he was running about in the middle, got down to the bottom of the racetrack. So the preferred higher line here doesn't appear to be too badly affected with cleanup.
No, that's not going to be affected, but it looked like they have some kind of in the middle of turns 1 and 2, especially the exit of turn 2. So they'll try to get that cleaned up and blow that off as much as they possibly can, get it race ready. Of course, NBCSN is your home for motorsports, but that's not all. You've seen us promoting throughout the day Premier League Lacrosse. I have a couple of, I think these would be good NASCAR names, Dale. Yeah.
The Chaos versus the Whip Snakes. And if you've watched any of it or appreciate lacrosse, you're going to want to tune in. It's a good watch. A lot of athletic ability in these players. Stay right here, you'll catch it.
How about Christopher Bell today? 212 laps that he's led around this race today, the most he's ever led in a race.
Now the all-time lap leader in the Xfinity Series at the Iowa Speedway. Of course, turning the wrenches for John Hunter Nemechek is Chad Norris, Dylan.
Well, and let's see what he thinks about this yellow here. So you got another shot at him here, but was that yellow good or bad for you guys?
We'll see how the restart goes here. The Chevy Camaro's been really fast today. The caution felt our favor today, so it kind of gave us a shot here to have another swing at him and see what it comes of it. Obviously, we're probably going to start on the bottom here, which is not ideal, but we got a really, really fast car here, and we'll just go see how it plays out.
How aggressive are you willing to be starting on the bottom?
I think you got to be pretty aggressive, right? These things are hard to win, so we're definitely at an advantage on tires. So I think we just got to use them all to our best ability and just see how it plays out.
They put themselves in a good spot to win here. That's Chad Norris calling the shots for John Hunter Nemechek, and they'll restart second.
He mentions the advantage there, Dylan, and the only driver in the top 4 who didn't get fresh tires at lap 203. Leader of the race, Christopher Bell.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to be that aggressive with the pit call, you're going to expect your driver to be aggressive on this restart, and I expect nothing like. John Hunter has been that basically his entire career. You watched him in the Truck Series win races, and when he won at Kansas in the Xfinity, he's aggressive. He doesn't mind mixing it up, and I fully expect to see that.
Crew talking it over down there. GMS Racing would like to see a victory lane run there. Cleanup continuing here. Laps ticking down under caution. Of course, there's the possibility, Dale, of a overtime finish here, but we'll see what happens closer to the end.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things right now, see some cars going to pit road there.
How about that? Maybe somebody does have something left.
Well, they've got fresher tires for sure.
So would,
a little incident there.
That was Dylan Bassett coming to pit road. I believe he's caught the sweeper truck. Unbelievable. Saw that truck leap. I just didn't see a car. And that is the 90 of Dylan Bassett. So on pit road, Riley Herbst, Zane Smith, Tyler Reddick, Justin Allgaier.
See right here, going to go right in.
Tries to avoid it at the last second. Haley was on pit road as well. See, Gray Galding made it around there to pit road, and what a crushing blow for Bassett, who had very little vision because of all the dust being kicked up there, Dale, and slammed the sweeper truck.
Yeah, he'd gone around the one truck that he could see that he was beside of, and I guess just couldn't pick that other one up.
Seen odd incidences like this before. I want to say Richmond we saw one like this. A cleanup truck was obstructing the view. It was 2 years ago. There's Dylan shaking his head. He can't believe it. Good to see he's okay. The driver of the sweeper truck is as well. And what an end to the day.
Yeah, it's a tough pit road to get onto, because if you wait out there too long, you bring the pit wall on the outside into play. So he was trying to get down as quickly as he could.
We told you the Bassett story. They have 3 Xfinity cars in their family shop. Brother Ronnie is spotting up in the spotter stand today. Dylan, this was his race to run, and it ends poorly. No one to fix that car when it goes home except the 2 of them. A couple of friends that help him out.
You can see they still had a little room yet that he could have stayed up on the track, but that's, it's easy to stand here and watch everything happening and say that. When you're inside the car and they open pit road, you're ready to get there.
So this will slow things down a little bit more for the drivers they'll be okay on fuel, those that are all out there, but a few came down pit road and grabbed another set of tires.
Yeah, and they were hoping to have as much time as they could possibly have, as many laps as they try to work their way back to the front.
Yeah, true, right? And as these count down, that takes away a little bit of what they were trying to do.
And the most important thing right here as a driver is to keep your tires cleaned off. You don't want to wait till they give one to go and say, okay, and now I'm going to scrub my tires off. It's an ongoing process to keep that happening from this point until they give that one to go and go back to green. Noah Gragson up there in the 5th spot with
just looking at that.
It's all the damage that he had to the front of that car after the contact with the 22 earlier in the race.
And I'm going to say, I hope I'm right, I believe Stan Lee's car is free of that kind of damage. Driver of the 28 right behind him. Yeah, look at that. Circuit City car looking good.
What a day for them. They had played that strategy also of saving a set of tires till here at the end.
Told you Shane's story earlier. Shane's team started their business at this track 5 races ago. This is the first one they've been back for the second time. Shane sees it as an opportunity to improve a lot. Jason Ratcliffe is the crew chief of the leader. Let's check in.
Right, Dave, I'm standing up here on the pit box with Jason Ratcliffe. All right, Jason, you guys have far older tires than that 23 car. Can you hold them off?
Well, I think we can hold him off for a few laps. Hopefully, we'll see how many laps are left here. The caution's just, you just don't have enough tires here. So you have to play it like you think it's going to fall, and it just didn't fall right for us there. But Christopher's doing a good job. He held him off for a little bit. I think that cycle on the 23's tires hopefully will slow him down a little bit and even it out. We'll see.
And you guys are going to be in the outside for this restart, I assume. You guys have had such good restarts. You think you'll have some of that fire-off speed here? Has that been one of your strengths?
Well, I hope so. I mean, the more caution laps we get here, I think it's going to, it's better for us. Let the tires cool down. So I think he'll be able to fire off okay and get a few good laps under his belt.
And any concerns about fuel?
Oh, no, we're good on fuel.
That's what I thought. Well, guys, they're good on fuel, but the tires there, it's going to be a big question here on this restart.
Parker, it's going to be an exciting restart. Christopher Bell in the 20 will try to hold off the 3 cars behind him at least, who are on the fresher tires here at the Iowa Speedway. Pace car has flipped the lights off. DJ, we're getting ready for it to resume.
Oh, this is going to get good. I think the man to watch actually is Chase Briscoe.
4th place outside of the second row there. See his Mustang is one of the cars with the fresh tires. Dylan?
Well, hey, looking at Ryan Sieg there in the 39, he's running 3rd here, on track for a season best effort here. Just a quick little note, his dad, Rod, is spotting for him today. That's not normally the case. They normally have a different voice upstairs for Ryan, so his dad kind of guiding him around the racetrack here, and he's had a second here before, going to drive for maybe one better than that here as we go back green.
How about that? Thanks, Dylan.
Yeah, pretty much every restart, we've seen the driver restart in 3rd, make it 3 wide down into turn 1.
We'll see what he can do when they come by. 22 laps remaining. Christopher Bell, the control car on the outside. Purple SK on the hood, trying to win for Sue Carley if he can do it. Bell to the gas. Where does Nemechek go? Great restart for the 23 on the inside. Side by side, can Nemechek hold it? Oh, he's going to lose it a little bit right there. Bell powering on the high side. Christopher Bell, he's still got the 23 of John Hunter Nemechek there on his corner, and behind Chase Briscoe on the outside.
Yeah, Bell's in a tough spot right there, but able to clear John Hunter Nemechek right now, so that allows him to be more aggressive on that higher side.
Wow, John Hunter sends it in there, keeps that low line going. Chase Briscoe in the meantime, car that Dale pointed out, finds his way to 2nd if he can clear Nemechek.
Nemechek really rolling the stem, but gets really loose on the exit of turn 4.
That's going to give Briscoe 2nd place. Chase Briscoe now focused on the rear bumper of Christopher Bell.
Yeah, this is the hardest Bell's had to go all day. I mean, he's at a huge disadvantage tire-wise, but has had the best car.
Yep, mid part of the race, didn't have a lot of competition up front, built his lead, carefully worked his way through lap traffic, but now has to fend off the contenders.
Yeah, and here's Briscoe's problem that he has, if he has a problem, in that he's got John Hunter Nemechek and Ryan Sieg right there behind him. So any move that he makes, if it's not successful, he could go all the way back to 4th.
And when will he make that move? 18 to go this time by. And John Hunter is pressuring. Nemechek's got a great car today. That Camaro's hooked up. He's going to try to get back by Briscoe. Whoa, slides up in. Oh, that's tight. Briscoe had to back out for a second, but now stands in the gas. And there goes John Hunter again. Down to the inside. Slides up to the inside. 2nd place for John Hunter Nemechek. Crossover for Briscoe. What a fantastic race at Iowa. Christopher Bell keeping him at bay, but a great race behind him.
How about those 2 passes? Nemechek first, and then Chase Briscoe taking that spot back away.
Nemechek to the left rear of Briscoe. And he's trying to find his way by again.
Exactly what Christopher Bell's wanting to see. These guys racing hard, sliding their cars around, using up more tire than what they want to at this point in time.
I think that's part of what the Black 39 of Sieg is thinking. These two guys make contact or whatever, and then I'll be in the catbird seat.
There's eventually going to be some contact here.
Two young drivers going at it. Both with rookie stripes on their bumpers, Dale.
They're not driving like rookies.
Woo!
Drivers wanting to win a race right here. Finally get it situated back single file here.
Okay, Briscoe can breathe, but not for very long. He's got to track down Christopher Bell.
Here comes Ryan Sieg wanting that third spot.
Sieg says, okay, now's the time. Finds Nemechek vulnerable, maybe.
And look coming back here, Tyler Reddick up into the wall, though.
That was close, and now any contact off the corner? No.
John Hunter Nemechek had his sideways. I believe he caught the right rear end wall there coming off of turn 2, racing Ryan Sieg.
Gregson is now 5th. Reddick back to 6th. Reddick looked like he was going to fly through and take on the top 4. This is the battle for 3rd. Ryan Sieg still trying to get around John Hunter Nemechek, the 9 of Noah Gregson in the rear view, and Reddick recovering after that near spin off of turn 2.
If there's any contact here to cause that, oh, it's hard to tell, but stayed in the gas, kept the spot.
Parker.
Guys, we see this aggressive driving by John Hunter Nemechek, aggressive racing. You know, I've raced against him, and I asked him about that style of his. It's really, he's known for this. It's his perception. And he said, you know, the reason I race that way is because I don't ever want to get back to the pits and have to look at my team and let them know that I didn't race 100%. If I left anything on the table, then I don't want to be able to say that. So I go 100% all the time, just the way I was raised. You're seeing it here, trying to hold on to this top 5 position.
Yeah, that's what you have to do.
Wow. Now he's going to cross over Ryan Sieg. Sieg didn't have a very good exit there, and Gregson's going to get by as well, maybe.
Chase Briscoe's tracking down.
Oh, contact in the wall by Ryan Sieg. Boy, these guys are racing hard. Yeah, Briscoe still has Bell in his sights.
Yeah, he's been quicker the last 4 or 5 laps. Just little by little.
There's the battle for the lead on the left. Again, Chase Briscoe with fresher tires now, perhaps evened out a bit over time here. Christopher Bell with the dominant car of the day.
Yeah, Bell has to have his hands full right at this point. This is the most laps he's had on a set of tires all day long. You can see Briscoe beating him on the exit of the corner. But here now, again, once again, trying to figure out a way around it.
Peaks low, peaks low. Can he make it happen off of turn 2? No, did not get the run. Dylan.
Well, guys, as you can see, I mean, they are ready to win. They've told me that this morning. They said, we are ready. The finishes prove that they can run up front. It's just been a matter of doing it consistently throughout the race. They've run up front in both stages, charged from the back here after that penalty, and now Briscoe knocking on the door of his first win of the year and second career win as he tries to track down Bell.
Boy, good middle of the corner right there. Let's see what he does off of turn 2 here.
Yeah, I think he just continued right now to say, okay, I'm going to see if I can get Christopher Bell loose, getting in the corner right in the center, maybe even use the bumper to drive by him here.
Chase Briscoe down to the inside, pulls along the side of the 20 car at the line. It's going to be Briscoe leading that lap. Can he hold the lead going into the corner? Lap traffic ahead. Briscoe slides up. He's going to clear in the 98.
Yeah, that's all he needed right there. Fresher tires and great job of driving.
What a pass executed by Chase Briscoe. His notebook is not nearly as thick as Christopher Bell's, thinking anything he can do to get by the 20, and he's done it with 5 to go this time.
How about this recovery for them after making a Mistake on pit road, running over the air hose, having to go to the back, and then still taking that chance of not putting on that other set of tires, waiting and hoping they would get the caution at the right time, and then making a great pass right there.
That was the chess match being played by crew chief Richard Boswell. And he did that for his driver, Chase Briscoe, already a winner in the series, won last year on the Roval. But this would be an outstanding short track triumph if he could do it.
As we set up in the pre-race, Dave, who wants to be that fourth driver to race for a championship? And this is a driver that we talked about, Chase Briscoe, showing a lot of promise, talking about how difficult this track is. If you can get it done here, you might be a championship contender.
The big three have a lot of swagger. That's Custer, Reddick, and Bell. But showing up today, Chase Briscoe. Custer's teammate, a strong team. That was the plus that we gave him, Dale. It's a good organization, Stewart-Haas Racing, with Biaggi Denbesti. And they put the wheels and the power under Chase today. 3-2 to go.
Yeah, great job of driving, being patient when he needed to be, understanding the situation, and then just applying the pressure to Christopher Bell and driving underneath him.
And you remember what else he's told us? His teammate is not a veteran driver, but he's a driver with a lot of experience in this series. That's Cole Custer. Cole's won 5 times this year. He credits Cole with helping him being guided around the Roval last year to know how to race it. He's picked his brain, and with 1 to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank, Chase Briscoe's in the driver's seat. Final time into turn 3 and 4, and Chase Briscoe is going to flex his muscle and win at the Iowa Speedway. What a finish. Yeah, they know it too. They just saw something special. This driver, who ran for his family in sprint cars and was very successful there, made the leap to stock car racing. And Dale, you just never know. Ford believed in him.
Yeah.
This team believed in him. They've pushed him along. And he's proving what a talent he could be.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier that it just shows that improvement week in and week out, that he's becoming better, understanding this racing even more. And on a difficult racetrack, got the job done.
Can you say burn it down?
Yeah.
Chase puts the state of Indiana on the map in the winner's circle today. Just 24 years old. We start the day saying names can be made here. I think this is a name you're going to hear from for a long time in NASCAR.
No doubt about it. Tremendously talented, and he might even say that this one might even mean a little bit. Those first ones are very special, but to do it at a difficult racetrack like this and pass the dominant driver at this track. Nice.
Chase's interesting day. We gave you snippets of it. Here's what it looked like again for the winner at Iowa. On pit road, there he is running over the hose. Had to go back outside the top 10 to restart the race. And then the battle he waged with Christopher Bell. Yes, he had a little advantage tire-wise, but Bell had the best car and the best line, DJ, toward the end of the race there.
Yeah, he sure did that. He had a fast car right from the start today. Qualified second here.
This is how they came across the line at the Iowa Speedway. This car will do some teching following this race, make those results official a little bit later on. Check your social media for that. Top 10 looked pretty good. A few comeback stories in there, Dale.
Oh, really good job. John Hunter Nemechek, what a great run he had there. Noah Gragson with a torn-up car. Did a good job getting a top 5.
Michael Annett repaired and returned and finished 10th in the 1 car for Junior Motorsports. Back on through the field, Ryan Sieg had a little trouble down there near the end.
Yeah.
Might have been caught up in that wall contact. Riley Herbst, a top 15 run for him. Stephen Light, a good run, best of the JD Motorsports cars. And on down through the field, you see Cole Custer had trouble on the day, as did Jeremy Clements. Brandon Brown brought out a caution late with what appeared to be engine failure. Dylan Bassett thankfully okay after he bumped into the sweeper truck trying to get to pit road. And that's how it ended for these drivers. Christopher Bell held him off as long as he could, Parker.
That he did, Dave. He led 232 laps, had the dominant race car, but got beat a little bit there on strategy. Chris, was there anything you could do to hold him off?
I don't know, man. That was tough to be able to hold him off as long as I did and not win the race stings. And man, this Ream Supra was super fast today, and I don't know. It's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Whenever he got inside of me there, I felt like my best bet to win the race was to try and stay right on his door and chase him down into the corners. So maybe could have charged the corner a little bit harder and not let him clear me, or just opened up my entry and tried to turn down. But I don't know. Looking back at it, it's always easy to I mean, I don't know. He was pretty even right there, and yeah, no, there's no telling. So anyway, he did a good job. He won the race, and we had a great race car, so there's nothing to hang our hat on.
They put up a heck of an effort, guys. Just not enough.
Here's how it changes the playoff look, DJ. A new yellow guy there.
Yeah, got
the
one
98
more
at Briscoe.
There. Yep. Didn't really change the way the standings look out back to the 12th side of it, but certainly feels good for Chase Briscoe to get that win.
Brandon Jones, in spite of his trouble, remains 12th, and the last guy in for the playoffs. Well, Dylan Welch, victory lane ought to be a fun place if your name is Chase Briscoe.
And what a drive it was. These guys have been so close all year. And this victory is well deserved. After the penalty for running over the air hose, you came through the field on new tires and then had to wait, be patient again, passing Christopher. How patient really did you have to be there just to not overdo it too soon?
Yeah, it was a fun race, first off, especially. It was fun. Man, I don't know. I just can't believe it. You know, I felt like when we stayed out and just did fuel only, it was going to be a lot better, and then I ran over the hose, so I was kind of worried. And then once we got that caution, when I was going to restart fourth, I knew I was going to be in really good shape. Christopher was way better than I thought he was going to be, though, on those tires, and it was fun. We were throwing sliders on each other and everything else, but just can't thank these guys enough. Ford Performance, Fred Biaggi, God is so good, man. Also want to just send thoughts and condolences to Nick Harrison's family, as well as Grady Chandler. He was in a bad crash last night, so prayers for him. But yeah, thank you guys so much.
You and I talked before the day got started just about it's kind of frustrating when your teammate is going out there and winning as much as he is in Cole Custer. What's the feeling now? Relief, just satisfaction, as close as you guys have been all year to finally break through and get in a victory lane?
Yeah, it's nice for sure to kind of silence everybody. You know, we definitely still aren't near where we need to be, but I feel like we've been way closer than, you know, these past couple weeks especially. And, you know, we still got to get better if we're going to beat the big three, but I feel like we're slowly getting in the conversation of being that fourth guy. So looking forward to next week, a little road racing, but got to go to Eldora first, so try to go 2 in a row.
All right, Chase Briscoe staking his claim to become the fourth man in the Big Four here at Iowa.
Fantastic. Satisfied with that finish, Dale?
Oh, absolutely. What a great race.
That was fun to watch. Chase Briscoe in victory lane. You saw a lot of action from the Iowa Speedway. Not all of it good, but all of it short track special from the nation's midsection. So glad you could join us here today on NBCSN for this presentation of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Coming up next, Premier League Lacrosse right here. We'll see you next time.